You know, like a good dry cleaner?
Right here, is it one of these?
He's got lice, so you're gonna want.
Well, I bought it too. Is it one? I just take one of them.
Yeah, well, it's like I have like different sizes, so depending on what size is good for you.
I got small ones. Are y'all about
Die?
Alright.
We gotta keep these. Hey yo, I just want an idea, but I'm not just sure how y'all might feel about it.
What idea?
So, to make sure that
Yeah, you got cash app? That's all cash app?
yeah, I'm gonna send you some cash. Yo, you know what? I did it.
Can I ask you?
I did.
Are these all the same price?
I don't know how y'all. I don't know.
So these are the only ones that's cheaper. These are 18.
So whatever comes out of the cup,
and
whether
these
it's
ones are,
something that's gonna create value or something that's
this
convenient.
one's 25. This one's
So I was
20.
thinking
This
like,
one's 20.
should we
This
have
is 25.
two separate cups? Because one for like a cup of random, and then one for the cup of knowledge or something like that. So where we can add value, that has you like the meaning point of view
I purchased
on the show, or that's
I like this too, but then I don't got always wear with this. I can wear this to anything.
yeah.
So those are like the last.
I like
Okay.
I know you do. That's what made me think about it.
Like,
I'm like,
I like the ones you have with like the natural stones too.
Like meaning something with
Yeah,
different
these ones are
perspective.
the
And then I still want to be able to get that laugh from the random stuff. You know what I mean?
Show the shock value.
What's your
Yo, why? For what? There you
got
go.
cash app, right?
Look, he the hit ID already there.
Control the shock
So,
value. Nah.
how do you feel about educational reform? And Denzel.
Motherfucker, but your wife's gonna grow up to be a crackhead.
Do you have
Oh, you need your number? What's your phone number? How much I owe?
That's gay. Oh, hey Denzel.
So
I just sent you a request to go live, yo.
Oh, the hat's 50? God damn!
and that's 25.
I done put the shit on now. I got it right. You can't take it off like you take your hat back.
No, I got it.
Alright, so 50 plus 25, so 75. Jesus, that's a good old trip.
Alright.
Hey, I gotta make money.
No, I ain't mad.
Where we at, Nick?
I'm hustling.
Is it 12 o'clock? It is 12 o'clock.
Where we at?
Did you do it, fucker?
I think we live, but we live.
Yeah, we live.
We live?
We live.
We've been
Hello.
live for like the past 5 minutes. Yo.
Sir, you ain't said that.
The body of Nick
Ain't
Austin
that
was found in a harbor.
Hey, yo, you going so you not going to accept my request show on the live?
Suspect right now is.
You gonna just,
Oh, you want to go live with me?
nah, you don't.
I didn't know how to
We're live. Hey, here,
I know, that's why I
type
did it,
all
so
your
I was
phone
like,
number in there. And it should be
go.
straight.
Hey, go ahead, Nick. Let's get started, baby.
Listen, Not Safe for Ears, episode
8.
8. Episode 8, Not Safe for Ears. We made it. Hand clap. We're live. We have our first female guest.
Hey.
Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
My name is Tani from Creative Blessing.
And she sell drugs. No.
No.
What did you say?
I
What did you say?
sell
You do sell
jewelry,
drugs.
accessories, all that.
All that. All that. All that.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
Bees on deck.
Lovely, lovely. We want to also reintroduce our panel as always. Let's start to our far left over here.
I gotta start off.
Hold on. Can we
Well,
talk
Marvin,
about how she bullied?
this side.
Can we talk about how she
Weird.
bullied Marvin out of his seat?
He was late. What
Listen,
you want me to
Marvin,
do?
you tell us
Hey,
how. Tell us your name
Hey,
and tell us how you got bullied out of your seat today,
All right,
you bitch
so,
ass motherfucker. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Damn, you don't really.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You started
Give it
early.
to the asshole courier.
Should have.
Narrator, whatever you want to call that motherfucker. Hey, yo, how tall are you, Nick? 5'1"?
5'1".
5'6".
5'1" with my steel
and a half.
phone.
Alright, so my name is Marvin. You can catch me on Instagram,
that's over to the
NG2_fit. I did get beat from my seat today for being too late. I was trying to do too much this morning. But
She looked at that bitch and was like,
she was like,
that
yeah, I
joint's
got
comfortable.
this. She straight swiped me, so
I'm sitting in the game
shout out to the
He
upstairs.
said
guests.
no.
No?
That will never happen again.
I know.
Be on time, baby.
I got you.
You Biggie?
All right, Denzel.
What's up, bro?
Hold
Hold up. How I'm the guest? I get my drink last. Like, I'm upset.
Cause he ain't shit.
I'm
Tell the
in
camera
my
he ain't
feelings.
Well,
shit.
you sit in the host
Tell him.
chair, you get the host glass.
Oh my
The
god.
last
Well,
glass.
here's a little extra in yours.
No,
So you get the most.
You see these guns?
Well, he got
Oh
those.
yeah.
Shirts
Let me
because
push him up. The guns. Oh, I should have pushed him up.
you just push it from the wrong way.
Wrong side.
Because it looked great from this side.
Yeah, up this.
Your side looked first.
I'm stupid on Sunday morning.
Alright.
All right, well, fuck Denzel. You take too long. My name is Nicky Nick. K-N-I-C-K-Y. Nick on Instagram. To my right is Danny. Give me a handle.
Well, you forgot the underscore. There's an underscore.
Hold on. What's up?
Nicky on
No, let me
the
just get this.
No, you trust me.
A lot of people
Trust me when I say.
Am I gonna be in the
Show me what's up, Danny. Give me your handle.
Try that.
Danny _lifts.
What up, folks?
All
Is
right,
that your
Denzel.
page?
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess so.
And follow my new
You must be
Instagram.
red, dummy.
Ambiguous.
Damn big.
Oh yeah, you did come with a new.
I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
We gotta share that on the page.
Biggie, give me one more change. Damn big. You don't want it?
And we also, you know, got
She knows,
Denzel,
just get her a glass.
who's on drink control.
You said it with your eyes.
You know he stayed on drink control.
So thank you for tuning in today.
Hey, thanks guys for
All three of you. 300. It'll be more. It'll be more one day. You motherfuckers, you know.
Overtime be like 100.
It's gonna get there.
Yeah, it's gonna get there. Just try to give it to
No, I
him.
mean over the course of the whole time, people they pop in, they pop out.
This man actually
No.
went to that.
No, we gonna get
What?
we gonna get it to a
She's
certain
to 100 whole time.
Yeah,
So what we like to do is when we have guests here,
Weird stuff.
we like to kind of jump in and let them reintroduce themselves, what they may be doing, what they want to represent. So tell us more about what you do, this business you have.
So basically, I'm a brand, Creative Blessings. So I'm the CEO of that. I do jewelry, I do event decor, everything custom. If you want bling on your shoes, the Swarovski crystals, I mean like stuff, birthday stuff, whatever. It's unreleased yet, but I'm in the process of writing a book as well.
Really?
So, yeah.
There's
Oh,
no
right now. We got two writers, two back-to-back writers.
Yeah.
What's the book about?
So it's gonna be some stuff about my personal life, but also like how to know what's your passion and turning your passion into income.
Nice.
I like that.
All
God
right.
damn.
Oh, I'm already a fan.
Hey.
That's dope.
So I love all things fashion, clothes, all that design.
Right. Shout out to her Fresh Tim's. She got on.
Fresh. Go ahead, put your
Son,
camera.
good,
Can you
yeah.
camera?
Fresh Tim's, baby. Fresh Tim's, son.
Showing off.
Let's also show some of what you brought here today.
Yeah, so I got some bracelets, some like glass beads, some agate minerals, jade, all that. I got my new collab pieces with Thomas Money. Shout out Thomas Money.
This the hat, right? Thomas
Yeah.
Money.
Money.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm fresh.
These
This
are-
motherfucker $50 too. Bitch.
Time is money or Thomas money?
It's Thomas Money.
Thomas
but,
money.
Yeah, time is
It's
money
like a
though.
play on. It's like a play on
Exactly.
words.
Yeah, there it is. I ain't mad at you.
That's great material.
It's dope.
And I like the little.
And it fits Nick's head. If it fits
If
Nick's
it fits
head,
my
if it
big
fits
ass
his
head,
it's
it's all right.
So these are this is the blue money blessings because we all want that blue money, right?
Yeah.
We need that.
Oh yeah, the blue money, that
Blue
$100
money.
bill.
Yes.
Them.
So yeah, these are all the colors from that blue money.
Where you from?
Huh?
Where you from?
All over.
I mean, you just seem like you don't have the Baltimore accent.
I'm not from Baltimore.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
she's
what I'm
right.
saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
You up north, right?
New York.
Like yeah, I got family up north.
Okay.
and everything, but-
She got the New York.
Are you-
accent. Yeah.
Just say it.
Is it Jersey? Is it Jersey?
York.
Jersey?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I just like get everything from traveling. But
Dope.
Nice.
Real talk. Dope. So,
I didn't get to say.
how do you like to
my
have your sex when you have sex? No, fuck.
I was like, I'm glad I didn't take a sip because I was like,
She was spit all over here. Like I just.
You guys got any questions specific to what she was just going over?
Yeah. So as far as like your creative, as far as like your creative brand, how long have you been doing that for?
probably for like the past 3 years.
As far as like your launch process, like
Mhm.
was it something that you kind of just fell into, where you just like, all right, let me just jump to it, or did you like take a little bit of time to kind of like plan it out, map it out? Or,
I took a year and I wrote down my goals for that year, which was to come up with my name, come up to like my vision. What do I really want to accomplish and see for my brand? And then I put in action and got my name. Like I own that and got everything legal. So
Nice.
Nice.
Seeing all that.
yep.
Ooh.
So then
Legal
I-
Zoom? Did you go through Legal Zoom?
No, I had somebody do the stuff
Oh,
for
no,
me.
yeah.
I got people.
oh, yeah, she took.
Do you get tired of the grind?
The grind.
Yeah.
I'm tired right now, baby.
All right now,
Tired right now,
I don't
baby.
get tired. See Kevin Gates over there. I don't get tired.
She just said she does.
Yeah, she said she's tired right now.
I
Yeah,
know, but I'm
like-
saying though, she's still moving though.
Right, like so I'm also an event manager. So I had an event yesterday. I worked like from 9 in the morning till 10 at night, and then I was pumping out jewelry when I got off, and then got up early, and I'm here.
That's what you call a grind. That's a hustle.
Respect.
That's hustle.
100%.
That's so how long have you been like? I mean, before you actually did the business, how long did you actually have a passion for what you wanted to create?
I have so many different passions. I like to do so much stuff, like just with events and just creating, like anything that's creative. That's me. I don't know.
So when did you find it? Like, were you like, was it like?
Always
So you
been-
said you've been in. So you said you've been, full launch for 3 years.
Mhm.
So have you had the passion like? Was it like that 3-year marker? I mean, like right before you started, when you was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna do it, or was it like you had been doing this for a long
In
time,
high school,
you know what I mean, high school or
No.
something like that, and then all of a sudden you were like,
What kind of grades did you get in art? Is what we trying to say. Or you were artiste.
I probably didn't do that good in art. Like, I don't know. I did good in like history and stuff. But so probably like, yeah, within the last 3 years, I really took it off of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I worked in the medical field for like 8 years. I really just got into that because I knew it wasn't going anywhere. But it's like you get into something so mundane, and I was like, this is not like fulfilling me. I'm not happy. Like, this isn't my passion. So I really wanted to jump out of that and start pursuing like what I enjoy doing. So for me now, it's like when I get up every day, I don't feel like I'm working. I don't feel like, you know, like, oh, I got to go into the office or I got to do whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
When you like what you do, it's just
Or love what you do.
yeah, exactly.
So if I had an event that I'm trying to plan with retirement homes
right.
and
still not pimping this out. Still not pimping this out.
So for those who haven't seen the previous episode, he wants us to have sex with elderly people.
What?
do you know how much money
He
will we
wants
make?
to use her as an event manager.
How
for
much
the
money
shit.
will we make if
So you want me
if
to
I-
be the pimp?
Not you, not you.
No.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
you don't
No,
have to
no,
take
no,
it.
But he wants you to plan it.
You like the CEO or
Right.
the COO? I'm the
Yeah.
CEO.
Okay.
These guys right here, they got the goods
Right.
to go to
The
these
goods.
retirement homes, right?
Okay.
Old ladies, they got a lot of money. They
Yeah.
got pensions.
Mhm.
They don't know what to do with it. What they gonna do? Buy their kids Christmas presents? Fuck that shit, yo. Pay for some sex.
All right, so
Well, advertising.
outside of that, they're not getting my asshole or my penis, so you kiss my ass. How long did it take before you started seeing return on your investments? You know, it's always hard in the beginning for small business owners to jump into a market and to actually get a return. How long before it was like, okay, this is actually working? I'm receiving some money from it.
Well, cause I have,
Are you sure?
yeah, but it was like, I don't know, it was like right away that I was seeing like, okay, this is worth my time because I have like a really good support group. I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of family, and it's like anything that I put my hands to, they jump on it and support it and put it out there. So
Nice.
yeah, it was easy transition, I guess, for me.
So
That's hard to come by.
that is. Yeah, a lot of people say they'll support you, they even like a post, and that's where it stops.
No, I
You're
have
like,
people
yo,
that
can
be
you-
like, yo, I have people already that's like, yo, I bought your book, you didn't even write it yet, let me get a signed autograph of your book. I didn't even write the joint yet, like it's not finished, but
That's
they
right,
already,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
You started though.
right, exactly. So it's like, that's just
They
how,
already put their
Right.
deposits on, so
Right.
yeah, that's definitely
yeah, it's like,
Dan, you got anything?
Definitely.
Adams, you got anything that maybe we haven't asked?
That was dope. I appreciate
And then we
that.
will get to the fucking topics.
Anything?
Oh,
you know why,
So-
so,
All right,
yes sir.
one last thing to our viewers who might be paying attention. What is the best advice you can give somebody that wants to go into the passion that they want to create a profit from?
Great question.
Basically don't be led by your fear. You're gonna feel fear, but do it anyways.
Repeat that again. Say it again.
Say it one more time.
Say it to the camera.
Say it right there to the
About
camera.
Don't be led by your fear.
Say it in Spanish.
I don't know Spanish.
What about French? You know French?
I'm Italian, but I don't know how to say that.
Oh damn!
Don't
Oh,
be
yeah,
led by your
how
fear.
you gonna claim Italian? You don't know how to say it. Ain't that?
Yo, she's so Italian, she doesn't celebrate fucking what's the day coming up?
Are you retarded?
Oh shit.
Oh,
Hold
We
on.
having a connection.
we have a connection.
Not Easter.
like, say Patty's
St. Patrick's Day. St.
Oh
Patrick's
yeah,
Day.
no, I
Is
don't
this
do that.
recorded? It's good, yeah.
Okay, that's still recording.
Nah, I definitely don't.
So you think fear sometimes is the major obstacle for people jumping into any avenue?
Absolutely. You get comfortable in what you're doing, and so it's like if I step outside of this realm, what's going to happen to me? You know, am I going to be able to pay my bills and make my income and do all this? But at the end of the day, like when you're doing what you love and you get good at it, like the money's going to come.
Mm-hmm.
Were you 100% invested? Like, did you really just leave everything as far as the healthcare industry and your 9 to 5 and jump fully into this, or this was like one of your side hustles?
So it was a side hustle,
Okay.
but like while I was in the medical field, I was like on my lunch break, I was going to the bathroom, I'm like
Okay.
doing schoolwork, I'm applying at jobs for like, you know, to do event stuff. So it was like I was kind of doing both. Like every moment I had, you know, free, I was doing that.
All right, dope.
Nice.
I think before we do jump into topics, give them your handle again and maybe the webpage if they want to look into more of your products
go ahead.
and
Do what
purchase
you
them.
do.
Okay, so this is all on creativeblessingscb.com. So that's the link to the accessories. You got my blog that I write.
A bracelet.
How much you charging them bracelets for? They got different prices.
$95.
So yeah, all that is on there. My Instagram at creativeblessingscb.com at creativeblessingscb.
Nice.
So everything is Creative Blessings CB, whether it be my website, Etsy page, Instagram, all that Creative Blessings CB.
Creative
Right now.
All right.
Make sure y'all go
All right.
check her out,
Dope.
man. She's
All right.
dope, man.
Alright, now
Topics!
topics? Drum rolling? Drum rolling. All right. We're going to take you out the comfort zone now.
That's hard.
All right, now. Why do men or women... What is... You got it. What word is that?
Why do men or women
What is that word?
ghost on
Ghost.
females?
Ghost on female. Okay, all right.
That's a good question.
And that's
Have
sex, date, then just disappear, lost, still, hold up,
but still water the page.
but still watch the page.
Still
Watch
watch
the
the
page.
What
So that comes
That
from
from
Anika.
Man, she staying on here, man.
Anika, a little more insight to the question. So guys are meeting girls, going on dates, and like having these like little mini relationships where like the girl is like, I really like him, I think he likes me, and then all of a sudden, from what I'm hearing from her and her friends, she's disappearing. But not just totally disappearing. They'll come back and they'll see him in the stories, or they'll like a post out of nowhere, but cut off all communication. So it's like a power thing. Why do you think guys do that, or girls, if it's vice versa? Why do you think even
Do girls ghost on girls as much as guys ghost on?
I don't say girls on girls, but I've had girls who out of nowhere don't reciprocate the same. Like dang, she was on me, then she got a boyfriend.
Was that right after you had sex with him?
What?
Yes.
When the girls ghost on him?
Wasn't that what the question was centered around? Like after, this is post sex, right?
Yeah, sex
Well,
dating,
sex dating,
almost like a
whatever.
mini relationship. Like it's not just
Right.
a
Y'all
one
just
night
pretty
thing.
much talking, dating, y'all done had sex, and next thing you know, he or she just...
Have y'all had sex multiple times, or is like
It's like let's say a 3-month relationship.
you just move on? My opinion, I think I don't agree with the process, but I feel like they just found something else and they're like, let me try this out.
But why are they still watching the page?
They're still like attracted to them and all that stuff. And then plus, I feel like with guys, guys are really good at stringing females along. So it's like, I'll go ghost, but I'll send you like, just check it out and make sure you're good, like every month or so, just so if I want to come back, I can still
like we still good, right?
Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? That's smart.
I hate that. Like it's the worst. Like don't hit me with
The
that.
asshole started this kind of shit.
I don't know if liking pics and like looking at stories is so much stringing along.
Nah, if you like my pic, I'm gonna be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be
What if
liking
you
my
watch
pic for
every
nothing.
video?
What's
What if
that-
they like watching every video?
But that goes off perception. So I think like in the basic, dating, if you guys are having sex or whatever, in the basic part, it's not necessarily the guy's obligation to keep that going. In my opinion, right? Guys, in a very natural sense, will have sex is very primal for us, right? So, not necessarily as many partners, but like it's a physical thing, right? So the woman who keeps the guy's attention, then they continue on with that. But if in those process, I think the big issue that a lot of women look at dudes is like, show me why I need to be with you, whereas in like the smart guys are like, show me how you're different.
Right.
And if 2-3 dates go by and you haven't like created that type of value, then there's no point in being exclusive to one person. That's like the other 15 you're talking about.
Now, what if they just a piece of shit though?
That's a good point.
What if they're just a piece of shit? We're giving too much credit to the guy.
Piece of shit, bitch.
No, but it's the truth. I don't know about you
even
guys,
a-
but sometimes you just maybe got bored for whatever fickle reason.
Even a piece of shit.
Or you had a relationship the entire time. This is something they said.
Okay.
They think that maybe that person had someone else,
Yeah.
and then maybe it got too hot. They couldn't cover the tracks anymore. Or that it was like an extended leave and they came back from out of town. It's like, okay, now I can't be with my side.
But in this
My
scenario,
side.
this
Think about
question,
it.
are we like assuming the guy is single?
Hold on.
They think that
Even
he's
if
not
the guy-
single.
Even if the
They
guy's
think it was a
single
lie.
and he's a
That's
piece
the
of
threat.
shit,
But then
and
this
he
is a
has
very
options,
question.
and these options are all look just like what this girl is offering, right? Why would he commit to this girl when she's exactly the same as 90% of the other chicks that's trying to fucking...
Sounds
And that's probably how the female is going to feel on the back
But
end of it too. Because
It's not cold, it's practical. Like if you go into I'll put it like this. If you have, let's say you have 10 cars. They're all Toyota Corolla 2014. Why would you drive one only? Why would you only
That's a
drive
good
one?
point, though. That's a fucking good point. You came ready today, yo. Nick didn't come ready today. Nick didn't come ready today, yo.
Why would
You
you
fucking tell me how I came ready.
Every time
How's you ready, my ready?
Every time you counter his argument, he's like,
he got
Toyota Corolla. And then you sit there and you like,
No, first of all, I had to let him talk. What am I going to overtalk
Yeah,
him? This is a conversation, sir. You don't fucking just inject your opinions because you feel strongly about
you
them.
watching. You
Now,
know
look,
what
if we see
Danny's
what's
on
going
Nick right
No,
now.
they'll say like, you have your 10 Toyota Corollas, right?
Yeah.
Now a Shelby GT pulls up in your drive, your,
Fuck them Corollas.
you see what I'm saying? Now that
So you're
Shelby GT
saying
gets your
that
attention.
they're of lesser value. Everything they went. Listen, you gotta understand. This is not just a fuck. They've had relationships. Like they posting photos on Instagram.
Oh, that's something
they like
else.
doing real shit. So hold
That's
on.
something
All of a sudden you go from.
He didn't say he wouldn't drive the Chevy Corolla. He said he doesn't need the
Chevy
Chevy
Corolla.
Corolla. He's not looking at the Chevy Corolla saying the Chevy Corolla's out the fucking door.
So, but let me ask you a question. I don't check on my Chevy fucking Corolla. If I gotta,
Chevy Corolla.
listen, if I got a Corvette, why the fuck? I'm not going back to my old garage like how that Corolla.
Yo, there's no such thing.
I
as
don't
a
give a
Chevy
fuck about the Corolla.
Time out.
I don't care about the Corolla anymore.
Time out. You guys are not just gonna just not gonna run amok with the Chevy Corolla.
That's
Well,
there.
hold
You
on.
are not gonna run
Let's get to the root of the issue.
Okay, all right, let's do that.
Like, because there's always going to be the next best thing. So the problem is really the mind state of the man or the woman.
The actual person.
Yeah, so it's like I have to have my mindset that I'm not even looking at nothing else. I'm not car shopping. Like, I went and got my car, like, I'm good.
But
Yeah.
if you give it a guy,
Yeah.
and this guy is the male equivalent
Yeah.
of a Toyota Corolla.
I'm not going to be with no Toyota Corolla in the first place.
But okay, so
Yeah, but maybe
no,
let me
No, my bad.
maybe
Okay.
you're
Guys
with
use
this.
cars for
All right, so you are like to. I feel like we watching an evolution of a person, right?
Okay.
Which is what we all want to do. Like he
Right.
starts one place, he wants to grow and expand.
Mhm.
Right now, all you can afford is a Toyota Corolla, right?
Uh-huh.
3 years from now, you may be looking at the Bentley truck.
Okay.
You're not keeping it. Are you keeping the Chevy Corolla because you committed to that Chevy
No such
Corolla?
thing.
But this
Toyota
is the
Corollas.
problem, though, with that theory. It's always good. You're always going to evolve. So that means you're always going to be looking for the
There's
next.
always an upgrade.
the
So,
upgrade.
But this
But
is
I think we're drifting away from the question
Okay.
because it's
yeah.
not. It's
oh,
not.
we
yeah,
been
that's
did
true.
that.
But it's
But
not.
there wasn't no
we
fucking
never-
Chevy Corolla in the goddamn
But
question.
it's not.
That wasn't even the analogy. The
Right.
analogy.
Well,
Well, you're supposed to let us know.
Well, hold on,
that
hold on.
that
All
was
right,
wrong.
so it's not an issue of loyalty, right?
Yeah.
It's an issue of what's available. So like, if you have, like you said, no one's really talking to one, but it's 2018. No one's really ever talking to just one person, right? So if you have those 10 Corollas, and I say Corolla because there's no difference between them. There's no disparity, whatever. They're all the same, right? You drive a few. Occasionally, you do have to make sure the car can drive, so you warm it up a little bit, right?
What's warming it up mean in terms of
You start the car. You like three picks in a row. You say, "LOL, that's
Then she
hilarious."
like their picks
You
in
shoot
a
a comment like, "Haha, that's hilarious." You're just warming the car up. This is basic.
Even though you had that Corvette,
Huh?
you're going back to warm the
But
lesser
no one's
race.
saying,
so look.
in this scenario, I never said anything about you. Look, it's like this. Are you dating? Is that your girlfriend or is that someone that you're just talking to?
They don't know what's the reason for them to
That is
step
true.
out.
That is true.
What they're trying to figure
That's
out
a
is
big
if you
difference.
moved
That's a
on,
big difference.
why are you coming back to check on the Chevy Corolla?
But that's
If you moved
not a
on,
Chevy Corolla.
I mean, that's why I went like this, Chevy
But,
Corolla,
are you,
imaginary vehicle
so are
Denzel
you
made
dating?
up.
So are you dating the Corvette, or are you just dating?
You should be dating this Corvette. If you
They
got
don't
a
know. No, they
if you
really
got a
don't know.
Is it
Corvette-
your girlfriend?
That person.
If you got a Corvette, lock a bitch down.
Me and you are dating.
Well,
Me and you are dating.
Well, listen, hold on.
I just disappeared. I changed my number. This was another example.
Like,
Changed
you
my
didn't even
number.
break up with me?
Didn't even break up with you. I just disappeared. But guess what? A week later,
Yeah.
you're doing your stories. You in the club, and you
Yeah.
see my, like I'm looking, and then you see the next video. I'm looking, and you're like, why are you
Yeah.
even interested in me when you couldn't even give me the respect
Right.
enough to be like, hey, listen, I don't want to, I don't like Chevy Corolla. I like,
But
this
do
and
you
that.
look at stories
Yo,
of
you say that shit
you
one
look
more
at
time.
dude stories, right? That you haven't talked to in 3 years.
Right,
This
true.
means you
No,
wanna
that
talk
that
to them.
demand is different. No, that dynamic is different. That's totally
It's
different.
not. It's the same thing.
I don't have any
You don't
sexual
know-
relationship
you don't
with any of y'all
know-
motherfuckers.
You don't know.
If I want to check on you because I moved to California, I ain't be like, boy, let's see how the muscles look.
I'll put it this way. Listen.
I ain't fuck with him in a minute.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen,
Let
if
me
a
get you one
girl
more time.
or a dude feels that is emotionally emotionally attached to interactions on Instagram, they need to get off because they're too childish to have that. Right? If
I
a
didn't
chick
hear
that
you
I've
say,
talked
how
to at
fucking-
one point
Yeah.
looks at my story, I'm not about to be like, oh, I'm in there.
Right.
People
That
look at your story. It's a click. You press. If you're watching your story and my story's next, and you click yours, you end
But
up.
the
in
only
my
difference
story.
is that she was left in the fucking shitter. Listen, these women,
Why
from what I'm
she-
hearing,
no,
not you talking about the example.
Maybe she's the ghoster.
No, she's not. I'm giving you the goddamn.
No, like a
How you gonna make new rules? There's no parameters. This is the parameters. They are fucked up and hurt. They with the girls got the group chat.
She,
They're like, oh
we
my
not
God.
want to make her fucked up in her. We want to make
This
her
is
the
the
ghoster.
question. No, this is the question. You can't
She's
make a
the,
new question.
she's the ghoster. Daddy's
Listen,
her-
bro, the question is this. They are in a group, they're like, girl, he ain't calling me. What happened? I don't know. These men are so fucking crazy. Why would he just fuck me, take me out on dates? I met his cousin, and just disappear.
Yeah, but the question,
What's the reason?
But I just answered.
That corona shit ain't the answer. The man shit ain't the answer.
Just because you don't understand the
No, I can understand it.
Hold on. Okay,
You because you
hold
say
on.
big words though,
Hold
when Jason Knox said.
Corona's not a big word. But hold on. Hey, hold on. Listen. So it's like this. You just said I'm being a girl in this scenario. He fucked me. He did this. He took me out. But now he doesn't give me the attention anymore.
Right. Totally
In
cut stuff
those
off.
periods of time, he was seeing if you were the one to attract his attention long term. He decided you were not.
So it's not a possibility
He's not
he had another
obligated
girlfriend.
to give you any time.
No, all right. So that's one possibility. That's one possibility.
Why are we treating this like women can't ghost on niggas, yo?
Yo,
That was I did say man or women.
Have you been ghosted before?
Hold on.
You been ghosted? Hey Nick, have you been ghosted?
Yeah, but for the sake of this question, we had to come from the point. I said men or
Yeah,
women.
Okay, hold on.
Also,
Listen,
no, they
hold
wanted to
on,
answer
I got it.
first. They wanted to answer first.
So, because Nick,
Ladies, we're gonna figure this out for you. We're gonna work this out.
Nowhere in the question does it say anything about already being in a relationship.
Thank
So
you.
we
That's why I
can't-
said
Oh,
that.
no, I cannot hold times up.
cannot add-
I cannot write everything on the paper. What I did do, because I had a
No,
nice.
you can't take my thing off the paper.
No,
and
hold
you
on.
gotta take your thing.
Look, I got a whole fucking
No,
thread of shit on my DMs.
You go from the paper.
Go off.
You gotta go off of the question.
All right, so next time I write this whole
That shit
paragraph,
that he does.
that shit gonna be long as a bitch. Like, all right, dot. Look at the next thing. But look,
Next woman's walk.
girl, boy, you better know it. Listen, what I think is going on, and what they think is going on, is that it was more
Yeah, we gotta
someone
get to
being
it.
deceptive. It wasn't so much.
Yeah.
It was a trial period, and both people are like, listen, this shit didn't work out. They think that the person misled them. This is what they think.
Yeah.
On top of that, they also asking us for our opinion. So we're also saying, hey, maybe it was your motherfucking fault. Maybe you ain't cooked good enough. Maybe your conversation was whack. But they think that maybe the person was lying.
Okay.
So, no,
All
rub
right,
my
so-
shoulder, my left shoulder.
Sum
That's
it
what
up.
I heard, motherfucker.
Alright, so reason why men ghost.
So why do women ghost?
No, time out. Reason why men ghost. 2 sentences.
It can't. It's multiple options. Like it can't just say one thing of why they ghost. But okay, let's just say basically, let's go with the one where
His dick.
they got uninterested.
It wasn't
like,
juicy
yeah.
enough, yo. It wasn't
Okay.
juicy enough.
Yeah, they got uninterested. They wasn't keeping, like I said, it wasn't keeping them entertained. It
That-
wasn't.
So what would make a woman go ghost?
Same thing.
We got other options and whatnot.
Is it
Right.
So
financial?
I'll put it this way.
sexual
When I said it from
gratification?
Go.
when I said it from a male's point of view, it's because we've been conditioned to believe that we have to be auditioning at all times. It sounds chauvinistic. It's not. It's practical.
Yeah.
Because women view it the exact same way. Because your $30 to take her out for dinner is way the same as the other dude's $30. But what is he offered as a part?
As an
Right?
individual.
Why does he deserve her time out?
$30?
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but hey, everybody different.
No, I'm just throwing
$30 is getting you to dinner for yourself.
That's my dinner. That's my dinner, my drink, and the tip.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you might
What
take
do you-
a
what
go.
we spent
You
on
might
you?
go to the pool hall or something. You know what I mean?
guys, I'm not saying
That's why she ain't ghost. That's
I'm
why
not
she
saying-
ghost. That's why she ghost your ass.
Yeah.
This example.
Alright,
Alright, look. $30
might
next
say,
to
shoot.
All right, hold on.
We go to Johnny
Hold on.
Rockets.
Hold on, real quick.
Now listen, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, listen. All right, what I'm saying, I'm not saying that that's the fucking total bill. Can we relax for a second?
But you
I'm
did
saying
say
that
that.
you
You did say
As
that.
an example.
All right, listen. Okay, let's put an arbitrary amount, X. Okay, whatever X means to you, motherfuckers.
Better.
You spend X on her. He spent X on her. But what is he? Right?
Yeah.
You have no right to this woman because you're taking her out. Right? And now, as a man, she has no right to you because you've taken her out.
Right.
It's a tryout period.
Question
And if
for
you
you.
and they don't owe you a callback.
Question for both of you guys, okay?
Do they owe you an explanation if they just say, like the next day, they don't text you that good morning text?
I know.
Vice
No,
versa.
I need an explanation.
You need an explanation.
Because it's a maturity.
Even though it's nothing old as far as like.
Yeah. No.
You may.
Oh, time's up. You motherfuckers say I don't talk enough.
You being
Then the day I talk.
being needed.
It's like, oh,
I'm
shut
not
up.
used to
Hold
this
on.
shit, yo.
So you're right. So
Yo, where's my question?
No, fuck
you may
you.
want an explanation.
Yeah.
And as a dude, I've been ghosted on. Absolutely, this is part of the process. But you may want an explanation, but in no form of the way are you owed that.
I don't believe that. I don't agree with that.
I believe you owe one.
Right, we're all adults.
If we're dating for 3 months,
Yeah,
like, yo,
like
you
you-
think so that's your
I-
girl? She just
right.
disappeared? I'm like, nigga, what?
I've invested my time. Like,
Wait, did the question say 3 months?
Well, anytime.
Well,
If
I couldn't.
went-
Remember, I couldn't write everything on,
Yeah.
but
Anything.
But
they're
how-
dating.
How
They're
are we
like,
supposed to debate a question we don't know?
okay, listen, I tried to lay the parameters because I couldn't write it all within the 3 minutes we had to.
I'm
This is
trying
like
to
a
get what I gotta
meaningful
say.
relationship. This is not like y'all were together, engaged, but you know what I'm saying? Like you didn't bring the two of the cookout. We nowhere.
They're not dating. They're not dating.
A relationship is different from dating.
Either
period.
way,
Summertime.
though, if I'm going
Like,
on
this
dates
is
with you,
July
I need
4th.
an explanation
So look,
because
Let the guest talk.
Come on.
Denzel, you always talk.
I'm trying to bring
Denzel.
this.
now
Let me
yeah,
bring
yeah,
something
yeah,
to the
yeah, talk about,
discussion
like,
here.
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
that's
talk
what
about
I'm
it. Go ahead.
Usually, I'm
Denzel, let the girl talk. I'm sorry, continue.
You go on a date.
Yeah,
X and Y.
yeah.
X has a $30 date he's taking you on.
Right.
Y has a $80 date he's taking you on.
Okay.
Does that, if they both are really cool, really nice, he's a little bit more what you're looking for, but does the $80 date compensate for the $30 date?
Great
Like, let's say
Great question.
he's taking you to
Good question.
Seasoned Pizza, and he's taking you to like,
Season piece is good.
remember, $80
$80,
ain't good.
okay, you're right.
$80 ain't good.
$80
No,
is-
you-
is
that's
not-
$30.
It's like some like
Yeah.
Italian restaurant that's like nice, but it's like it's unassuming, but it's intimate.
Well, like,
And so he's more compatible with me.
He's more slightly more
Or maybe you
Slightly.
can't supply your
for
financial.
Squizzitos Pizza. A
Just
little
because
less
a dude takes a chick on a
compatible.
$30 date doesn't mean he can't buy her a house.
Is that?
It means that he's not dumb enough to
But
invest that much money on a chick he doesn't know.
she's again.
She might not know
We
that. though.
talk in terms
Nah, I'm
of like
gonna find out
yeah.
before I make my decision.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, there we go.
So it
Here we
doesn't
are.
matter as much. It's more about the connection.
Right,
She
because
didn't say that.
She definitely
She
No.
didn't say that.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
asking
She said
her. She
she's
can
gonna
say yes
find
or
You
out.
no.
just threw words into her.
You said
No,
that
she
she
said
said
yes
yes
or no.
to the interaction,
Yeah, like-
whether or not, yeah.
right, I want to be.
She said,
more
"I'm gonna find
compatible.
out." I had to find out.
Okay,
Hey,
all
Marv.
right, okay, all right.
Marv, do Marv stuff and like grab one at the top.
Yeah, because we've been on one topic.
Yeah,
All right, so
Yeah, I
just
know.
to
You're
sum it
like
up,
the gatekeeper.
they both go for
I'm
many
trying to
different
be
reasons. It's not just for one reason why somebody just goes.
Either way, you should still.
At least
like,
communicate.
Yeah, you should
I'm
communicate.
not used to you being so far
Yo.
away, yo.
I know this is really weird. It is weird to have you sitting next to
I
me.
know.
Is that what it was? You just
Hey.
didn't want to sit next to me?
Hey, look,
This chair
I'm
is
still
a
on the
little
show, folks.
comfortable.
I'll say something.
Can I say
Hey, Marv, because normally that's something I
We
would just
can
whisper
switch
to you.
out like halfway through, you know. We're just all changing.
I'd be like, hey, Marv, this is not
Yo, I'm gonna give y'all a notepad.
You answer first.
A note. Nick, shut the fuck up.
That'll be you answer.
I'm gonna give y'all a notepad folding course, just so we can make sure that nobody's
My
topic
joke
is
is
gonna get
right.
that shit.
Right.
Do you believe in secret societies?
What?
Oh Lord.
Yes, I do believe in secret societies. I believe in secret societies because I believe that with each person, especially depending on what the secret society is, we're gonna say surrounded by or what it's for.
Mhm.
So, for instance, if you have a millionaire secret society, I mean, you have for instance, you have these millionaire secret societies, right?
Mhm.
Pretty much what it is, it's just a core group of people. They get together when nobody else is around, but they say, you can tell a man's true character by what he does in the dark. So when you see people and they're successful, it's based on the fact that when they're in the dark or when they're with these secret societies, that they're gaining knowledge to propel themselves in the future.
Mhm.
So, for instance, you already have these fraternities and sororities. They're already their own society. You want to be technically speaking. So why wouldn't there be a secret one that we wouldn't know about? Whether it's about anthropology, whether it's about anything else for that matter. So yeah, I do believe that there are secret societies, and I believe that if you want to, you can create your own depending on what you're actually into. So
I like that.
What do you think?
I believe that there are.
Wait.
it's like several.
She echoes what you said.
So I guess more to expand upon that, like basically, do you believe in the
Illuminati.
existence of like a Bilderberg, Illuminati, stuff like Yale?
We see what you've been doing. We want you on board.
No, they're gonna sacrifice me.
It's already too late. They already started
I'm
calling.
gonna look at my portfolio and be like, nah.
So
That's
let's
a trick.
So
Can I bring a friend? Can I bring a plus one?
Alright, so can I bring a friend? Can I bring a
That's a
plus?
movie too, yo.
Kill him.
I seen that.
So you
It's
believe?
like,
I do. Everything Danny was talking about, the different families, the financial market, and how it all ties into, these same few top 5, top 10 families. I do believe it. I believe the poets in the drug market could be so powerful that a neighborhood can love you, right? Or a zip code can love you.
Mhm.
If you just
That's like the
continue
mob.
to, just multiply that out,
Exactly.
why
You
couldn't you
said
do it on a
you
larger
know the
scale?
mob?
No.
Oh, first off, nah, it says like the
If
mob.
you do, we are sorry we ever finished.
Legally right, but then they going on.
That's
So
smart,
that can
yeah.
happen on a very like minute level. What do you think happens for the mob that started in circa 1403?
Yeah.
And they've kept a consistent
I
power.
know, right?
And so for me, like I look at like the Rothschilds. They're like Evelyn Rothschild. You actually just passed. Recipes of things.
Did you go to his funeral?
Huh? I would have been sacrificed. Like,
Cutting pieces off this motherfucker like this is so tender.
yeah. Like, focus on the fact that I wouldn't survive that encounter. But I've been by far the brokest person now. And then, so you have like Evelyn Rothschild, right? His net worth, online is only $2 billion, right? Only $2 billion. But his family started the first central bank, right? The first central bank that controls all the banks in the world, outside of what was it, Lebanon and
You did right, somebody gonna fact
Jesus
check.
Christ, yo.
Yeah,
Switzerland's
yeah,
wrong.
Fact check.
Switzerland's
or in
wrong.
Eritrea. No, Switzerland's also a central bank,
Okay.
but it's just harder to trace. So I say that to say he controls all of that, right? That family controls all of
And he's
that,
a drug
but
dealer.
they have the amount of media control that you never hear about that.
He's part of the mafia.
And they also
Control the
are
narrative.
listed at $2 billion worth of assets, where they had well over hundreds of trillions of dollars. That type of power alone, the power of privacy at that level, Kim K, or not even Kim K, they say someone small,
Kim K,
like,
let's say Kim K.
oh, but she also wants attention. But I said like Shia
Oh,
LaBeouf
yeah.
can't walk out the house.
Shia LaBeouf.
But Shia LaBeouf can't walk out the house without thousands of people knowing his whereabouts. We have the most powerful person, easily the most wealthiest person in the world, and no one knows where he is ever. That's
So-
power. That's scary.
That
man.
is scary.
The Kennedys as well. They running booze into prohibition and then turn that money into politics money. So there are a lot of people who start off in shady background, secret society type shit, and
That's why I'm
just transition right over to
I don't need
what
to
we
be in
call
the
good old America.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we all kind of agree with it. Like,
How does the Gambino family do it?
listen, I don't ask no questions. I don't need to
Right,
answer.
next
So I'm gonna let
question.
him go ahead and be the camera. Next topic.
Next topic?
Next time. Hold on.
You got the golf on the show too?
I do.
That's what I was telling him.
What's God's plan? That's
God's
the
plan,
Drake
but it's the Godfather.
Yeah,
Shout
the
out
thing,
to
yeah.
Imperial Design,
Yo,
That's what's
This
right.
is God's plan. God's plan.
that shit made me cry.
My God, what note was
Yes.
that?
I thought Drake was like so corny
B
until I
minus.
seen that.
Let him live. See, Mom, you ain't say shit to him. He came right for you. You ain't say nothing to
Yo, cause fuck all y'all.
him. Next topic. Next topic.
Yo, pick somebody's topic besides this person, yo. That's the same
Yo,
rating
because
on
y'all
every one, yo.
motherfuckers put the shit in
Put that
there.
back, yo.
Alright.
Grab another one.
That was the Fergie version.
Oh, shit, terrible.
It's been changed.
That's what I'm
Who
saying.
wrote that?
Like chivalry? Are we talking about?
No, courting. It's
No,
more-
because
more
you can do it
courting.
online, and you can mass scale wholesale
Yeah, because people
trying to talk to women.
No,
Why
okay,
would you-
listen. Let me elaborate because I know.
Oh, this is your
No,
question.
I didn't ask the question.
But she
Somebody,
was a woman.
yeah,
But this is your question.
it is my question. But
This is your handwriting.
and I was the only one that
Yo, your handwriting is terrible as fuck, yo.
I was doing it like on my leg, okay.
They give
But
you no
Doing it
passes.
all over her
You get
face.
no passes here with hair like this.
It's alright. Go ahead, elaborate, Smith.
okay, so basically, from the person's question that asked me that, it's like back in the day, I feel like guys like approach females so easy, like they just walked up, boom, 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 what's up? Now it's like guys aren't approaching females. It's like so now and then it's like weird. I don't know. Like, what do y'all think about females approaching a dude first? We can talk about that in a second. But
That's
yeah, it's
another
just like it
question,
just
man.
seems like
Ooh,
it's
that is a good
yeah, like
question.
it's changed because guys are like, I don't know what's the reason why y'all don't approach females now.
I have an idea.
Can I start this one?
Yes, you may
Let me start this one, yo.
You may start this one.
Uh-oh.
Listen,
Anyway, so what I was saying.
we sitting in a room, right?
Yeah.
With guys who like we talk shit, we talk a lot. This guy right here,
Yeah.
he's not scared to approach females. Another friend of ours in the gym, Mike, he's not scared to approach females.
What?
You know what I mean?
Their approach method's a little different. Yeah, that's
The approach is
but I see the fear. Yeah,
it's wonderfully different. But at the same time, like I'm saying, I think the question is decline.
Don't be calling doing the show, motherfucker. Doing the show.
Don't call them the show.
Obviously,
Don't
you're
try.
not watching.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I'm not sure that
taking call-in visitors.
who wrote this question? Was it a female?
Yeah.
Is she attractive?
Yeah.
She is attractive.
Yes, she
Is
is.
she single?
Yes.
What's her handle?
Yeah. 12 o'clock.
The room blast right now. Go ahead.
But go ahead.
Anyways,
I'm gonna send like 5 people to just hit you up.
All right,
Oh, you wanna?
what was your
Talk
question?
with you.
I'm just
What-
saying, I
what was
don't
your
think dudes scared to talk to female. I think dudes is more
Nah.
opening is
got
easier
it.
now.
I
Right?
got a
think,
little bit different.
go ahead. You go.
Well,
But
the
I'm
reason-
saying open is easy.
The reason why I say it's probably different is because it's more so like society isn't as interpersonal as it used to be.
right.
So yeah, guys can slide in the DMs and send you this, that, and the third, and it's over internet. And a lot of people don't know how to do that interpersonal connection now. They can't walk up to a female and say, "Hello, how you doing today?" They can't. It's hard for them to do that.
Can you do that?
But what's the
I
reason?
could if I wasn't married.
Like, are guys scared? Like they're gonna get
Yeah,
rejected?
because
Is that the biggest thing?
because too, in general that women are more independent and they have this resting bitch face and all that kind of shit, right?
Oh my God.
So you have these other guys who feel like they're entitled to something. So when they feel like they're entitled to something, a woman who holds her own stature and knows her own worth holds that kind of intimidation factor. Like if she's pretty, she's flawless from head to toe. You feel me? Like you don't know what kind of vibe you might get from her after you talk to her, but nonetheless, that's up to him. Because once again, that's the strike of fear because he's like, I don't know how she gonna react to it.
Resting
So-
bitch face. Like, is that just like regular face? Like, what is resting bitch face?
This is what it
What
is.
is resting bitch?
Resting bitch
Does
face.
she have a good resting bitch face?
Oh,
that's
she
what I
should
was
be
thinking.
She showing. We got a guest in the corner. She had the perfect.
She's
been a
making
real
sure that
person.
she feels comfortable 100%.
Can we say resting bitch faces, guys?
Yeah, it's still a face. That
Because
they
I
make.
said she had a resting bitch face, but I didn't call you a bitch though.
No.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So it's an expression of an emotion or
It's emotionless.
well, emotionless.
I am admitting no emotions towards you because I do not want to talk to you.
So like stripper face.
Hold up. But
See,
don't sometimes
Stripper face is like-
that might not always be accurate.
Some girls just have it.
Yeah.
I've seen girls that had that
Yeah.
almost a mad look,
Wouldn't that
and then
make
I'll
you
go
wanna
on
talk to them
post and
more?
they're like, "Hi."
Yeah.
Exactly.
I gotta give it
Yeah,
to you.
right.
yo.
That happens to
Thank
me
you, yo.
sometimes.
So you think
You're not gonna stop talking to girls because they look that makes you want to talk to them more,
I put it
right?
like this. Like sometimes, and I'll
Sometimes
actually answer
guys
that.
like
We're
that.
a little
Oh,
bit
yeah,
far.
yeah,
I'm gonna you go next.
But-
Bring that
This is
shit,
Marvin's
girl.
spot.
Hold on,
So
hold on.
Marvin, you say intimidation is probably the main key.
Yeah, because
All right,
if
let's
he's
go
not
back.
comfortable with his own self, then he's not going.
That's
He's
a
not
Oh, that-
gonna-
We wrap that up.
Yeah.
Now give your thing.
Oh, now you want to wrap my shit up?
No, but they didn't want to jump in. I didn't want to follow. I'm trying to host
Go
over
ahead,
here.
dog.
You good.
You ain't do that shit earlier, nigga.
Run it.
Oh,
We good.
Fuck y'all.
All right.
Say.
Man, put that gay ass pen down and talk.
All right. So when it comes down to like the I guess the intimidation factor of a girl that believes she has resting bitch face, right? A lot of those girls feel like they are intimidating, right? They feel like they're intimidating. Maybe their friends have said they're intimidating,
That's me.
so they almost like embody that, right? And so they accept that. So when they go out, they're like, I'm intimidating. If no one comes up to me, it's because they're scared of me, right? So when the dude does go up to them, it's almost like a breath of fresh air, and they don't know how to react. Especially if he doesn't come up like, "Hi, I'm Daly. It's nice to meet you." If they just walk up to you, like, let's say you have a couple dudes, they went up to her like weak like that and got curved, right?
Right.
So you walk up to that angry looking girl and you say, "So what did those dudes say that didn't work?" You put them in a scenario where they have to answer a question, right? It takes them out of their comfort zone. They're not used to that in the altercation with a man or the interaction with a man that they used to be in that power position. So she's, I don't know, or she says, if she answers the question, she says yes. And you say, okay, so what do I have to say to leave here with you now? Right? Again, making her answer questions she's not accustomed to do. So that girl that has a natural angry face or that natural like emotionless look is now almost perplexed.
You trying to put on defense is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let me add to that.
Would you change the
It's
game?
not necessarily making her answer questions that she's not used to answering. It's just you approach this female, right?
Mhm.
Like she's a person and you a person. She's had conversations before. It's easy to just be like, yo, why is it so cold outside? It's March. I can't deal with that shit. I need
See,
to
but
like
you're in
move to a
small
warmer
talk specialist.
climate.
I hate small talk.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't like
Nah,
small
but that's
talk.
Give me that, yo. Give me a motherfucking data, yo. Because if she says
Well,
that to me,
according to the question, why do you think they don't do it? So he said it to
Okay,
Sometimes
let's say that you do it, okay, but other people.
Not me,
talk
not
about
me.
other
I don't do
people.
it.
Right, but okay.
It seems like
Right,
more
right, I
people
get
going
that,
into
but-
DMs than face to face. Why do you think that's the
Not
case?
so
even
look,
all
this
the time.
is what I'm saying. I think that I think that this is what I tell everybody. I got female friends. Whenever my female friends they tell me something like this, I'm like, where are you? Let me get myself in the camera a little bit. Where are you? And where are you going? Who are you? Where are you meeting these guys from? Who are you putting yourself around? Are you putting yourself around dudes who are like uncomfortable except talking online, or if you putting yourself around dudes who's only trying to go for hookup culture, that's what you're gonna get.
How can she
Go some.
Yeah, so
Huh?
where is the spots to go
yeah.
then? Like
Where's
where's the good guys
so
at?
approach
Where's the
first.
guys at?
This is how you figure this
There are
out.
no correct spots.
Dang. I kind of like how you just do that in there, though, ball. I kind of like that.
Because if they go to the wrong places,
There
then
are
what's the right places?
wrong and
Don't-
right
don't
guys.
do
Everywhere
I think
you go.
the risk reward thing apart, it's just easier to take the rejection
Yeah.
of someone just reading and not responding or
Yeah.
just saying okay.
I'm gonna answer this question.
I'm a little older than some of the guys in here. I remember when you had to actually go and get rejected to your face. It's a little bit. We're gonna say a little. I remember you had to earn that rejection, like in front of the fucking in the mall, in front of the party. Walk back to your corner, laugh to your boy, like yeah, you know, she.
Like she never
She
writes-
wasn't
Yeah, you had to earn it. Nowadays, you
Like she
can
never
literally
writes you a letter back.
all that. Nowadays, you got to copy. You can copy and paste and just send the same message out.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay, you know what? Cool. I have so many options. The ease of entry is so easy to get in. Not to use the same word twice, but it's just easy.
Yeah.
I don't have to go across town. I don't have to be in a certain. I could be in my house
Right.
watching Rick and Morty. Like, oh, she got a fat ass. Let me just holler.
All
at
right,
her.
so
She don't respond. Cool.
Let me finish with my time.
It's much easier that way. That's why I think.
Is that why you hit no female?
I don't do it anymore.
Right.
But when I did, it was a lot
Right.
easier that way for me.
No, go ahead, man.
This is the answer. All right. Where are you going? Go somewhere. What do you like to do? Whatever it is you like to do,
Use that
go
as-
there. Meet dudes that like to do that shit. Then you already have common ground.
But that's a
Easy to
question
talk.
of compatibility, not how they come at you.
Yeah, but if you put yourself
Or why they
around,
come at you.
okay, so
Yeah,
like
it
let's
makes
say
sense.
you like to work out. Girls like to work out. They go to the gym. It's easy to talk to them about working
But it
out.
doesn't dictate
You
how
like
they
wine.
come
I
at
like
you.
wine. We go to a
Maybe
wine
we can
bar,
afford
or we
to-
go to like a wine festival. Easy to have
But
a
dudes still
start a
may not know how to
conversation.
talk to a woman.
But if
You
they
make
make
like
you
wine.
feel more
The
comfortable,
question is
then
why
you
do
need
men
to know.
nowadays
Yeah.
approach
Why they don't
women?
approach you face to face?
So we're not answering the
Even
question.
considering
We're
that they in the
We're
gym.
giving like sub answers to questions that
Okay,
not being asked.
let's
But-
branch off though and say what would make it what can we do as females to make it easier for guys to approach you?
Be better women.
No.
What? First
I'm
off,
So
gonna tell you now,
listen,
the
100%
best
wrong.
thing for you to do is if you like the guy, wink at him.
wink at him.
That's actually a good answer.
Wrong
Yeah.
side. What do you think? What do you think?
So
If you give him a subtle wink,
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that answer.
So,
That's a good answer.
yeah.
no
Okay.
smile, no anything.
Just a wink. Okay.
You think about that wink, Daddy?
That's a
You think a
wink.
wink
That's all
will
I need.
make you come from the other side of the gym?
Bane is now permanent.
I feel like a wink is corny though.
First off, I don't
But
want
guess
glasses
I'll
in the
know.
gym, so she's winking.
That's why I said.
Oh, time.
Exactly.
Real quick. You said the wink won't work because you don't wear your glasses in the gym. You wouldn't even see
I was
that.
riding the shit.
Who the fuck she?
Damn,
That's
you
not
would
her
have
eye.
missed the whole
She was-
pussy shot.
She would have to like wink. Like,
She had to wink with a titty. Oh, that's
but anyway,
shit.
so why? I'll put it like this. So why don't guys, why do guys approach girls? Any other sport?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you look at like today's NBA, why don't guys play with their back to the basket anymore? Right? Because you can't hand check, so they can shoot at will. Now, and we talk about the dating scene. Guys don't have to go up as much. I've been I was at U Street like 2 years ago with my roommate, right? He had an app that's called like Happen, like HAPPN, right? Whereas if you're in a proximity of a woman,
Yeah, I heard
they'll
about
show
that.
up. He saw a girl, said, "Damn, she looks good. I wonder if she's on Happen." She was. He matched her. He said, "Hey, I'm here," and they started. That's how they
That's
started talking.
nasty, yo. I can't get with that.
Mm.
Nah,
I don't like
But
that neither. I don't like that neither, yo. You
I'm
walk
not-
up to the
it worked
girl
out for them,
and
though,
you
huh?
start a
Hold on. I
conversation.
said, you guys are saying you don't.
It worked out
Not
for
yet,
I'm
not
them.
showing you that the game is straight. Because what you guys are doing is you guys are the old school basketball fans that say no. I don't like the new way. I don't like the game the way. I don't like the way the new game is played. Right. But this is the new game.
That's
That's
the
like-
that's
Yeah.
the interpersonal connection that
Yeah, I
I'm
don't like
talking
that. That's
about.
fake.
If you have to go online to
Yeah,
find
take it out so
out,
you can
if
hit-
you-
so, cause you saying something for real right now.
Yeah. They probably like, what the fuck?
But look, that goes back to the interpersonal connection that I was talking about. If he has to go and check his phone to see if she's on to Happen, then obviously he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to say something here. I'm here. Like, why should you even have to look at your phone? Like, bro, you just if
She
you
right
see that she
there.
likes
But
it,
It's just
hey,
easy.
how you doing?
But the question isn't how things should be, because how things should be, yeah, we should be in imperial times.
Why?
But
why
this
they
is
do it.
what are the ways
Sorry,
things
folks.
are.
Yeah.
And why are
Asshole.
things the way they are?
Yeah.
So if we talk about that, we can't speak on hypothetical, like how the ideal situation or utopian society where guys say, "Hi, I'm Daniel. It's nice to meet
But
you."
that's how
We're
the
talking
game
about
has
how
changed.
it is
Interpersonal
today.
connection.
Listen, sweetheart, put
No, but
yourself around
Not the
real
question.
old school, more mentality dudes who think like that, who think like what he just said. And did you say? What did you say?
I said,
Put
I
yourself
think
around guys
risk
who think
reward,
like it's good to have a conversation in person.
Yeah.
the risk of me being turned down in front of everybody, right? Like if I
So
had
the
an
fuck-
app,
what-
what's the name
what's
of the app again?
Happen.
And I could just look at you and just sit, and you don't respond, cool. But the entire public around me had no idea that happened, the interaction. You don't have that
Nah, yo.
that problem
That's
anymore.
bullshit,
I-
yo.
well,
Nigga, you gotta get used to being fucking.
But
turned
no, we
down.
know it's bullshit. We're
My
saying
dad-
why
my dad
don't
used to
they
tell
do
me-
it
my
anymore?
dad used to tell me
The
every
game
time.
has changed and it's
What's the
evolved.
worst thing a woman can say if you try to talk to her? No.
Right.
If that's the worst thing that
Yeah, but for
a
somebody
woman
that's a
can say,
block shot.
Fuck that shit. Get
That's
your shit
embarrassing.
back,
That's
nigga.
a part of
Keep shooting
the
shots.
game.
If
It
you
is a
can't-
part
if you
of
don't
the
shoot your
game.
shot, you don't win.
You're 100%
Yeah,
right.
you
But
might
what
go
if you
all
can
the
shoot
time.
your shot in a more efficient way?
Yeah.
What if it's
Online?
easier to do?
There's
it?
online.
Oh, it's
That's a free throw. That's a free throw.
Okay.
That's a
Have you ever
1-point
hooked
shot.
up with anybody online?
That's a 1-point shot.
Have you ever hooked up with anybody
Nigga,
online?
I shoot trays. Steph Curry shit.
I shoot trays. I can shoot a tray online too. Have you ever
Are you
reached out to
shooting a tray
someone
in
online?
Because I shoot a
That's
tray
the problem.
online.
Why can't you?
Online is a free throw. That's a 1-point shot.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what this online game is like, but if I sent you a DM and you read it, and we
When
dated,
if he sends you a DM, send me the DM. I'm a screenshot.
Honestly, the 3-point shot would be, if we're
The
talking
3-point
about,
shot is
hold
in
on,
person,
if we're
yeah.
talking about the actual translation to that,
Yeah, yeah.
it would be actually more online. Because,
Get the fuck out of here, yo.
I don't agree with that shit neither. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
wait,
Yeah,
listen, we don't have to agree, but you're going to listen. So here, this is why. This is why, right? In person, hold on. When you're in person, if you approach a girl in person, you can at least guarantee, if you get shut down in 5 seconds, you can guarantee that in 5 seconds, you're the only person she's talking to. Right? Online, you're literally throwing your shot into an ocean of DMs. And
Ocean.
depending on her per followers, likes,
Yeah.
and how
You're not
good she looks,
invested. You haven't done the step back through the legs.
lower percentage
You
chance
haven't
shot.
like, you haven't ran through a screen to get
and
there.
listen,
Fucking
in
guys
person,
are bad.
but
Can I make a
you hear what he's saying, right?
Alright.
You hear what he's saying. What you're describing, running through screens, step back, is not a 3-point shot. That's going in the paint. So in person, that's going in the paint. That's going against that 7-footer. It's not an
Never
issue
did.
of fear. It's
Jump
an
right
issue
the
of
fuck up.
adapting.
Hold on. She's got a point. She got a
Hold
point.
on. You can make. I'll put it this way. You can make maybe a positive return, like 30% return, if you invest in person businesses, right? You shake their hands, but you can adapt and see where the culture is going, and look at cryptos where you can make 200%. You can make 200%.
Yeah, but that's a game where you're trying to make millions.
We're talking about adapting.
In dating, you trying to get one person.
Yeah.
But what do you value her at?
You trying to get one
What
person.
do you value the person
It
you end
doesn't
up
fuck
with?
that. It only matters that you
That's
try
an
to get one
investment that you
person.
cash
yo.
in on.
He's got one person.
Did you invest?
That's the
You
goal.
invested in your wife, right? And now you guys are growing together. You invested in your wife, right? Now you guys are growing together.
I talked to her on social media.
Let her.
It was not face to face too,
to
and
have-
I was put on by my homie.
Hold on,
to-
My
yo.
homie said, "Get at
to
it."
create-
And this
to
is my
build-
wife now.
to build any
And I'm old school.
It goes back to the original question, to the other question, right? But why guys go ghost,
Yeah.
right? Because he made an investment. He said, "Oh shit, this investment is growing far rapidly than the other ones. This is the one that's worth investing in."
That's what my comment was gonna be though. Is like I feel like you more likely to get ghosts if you hitting people up like that, because then they're easily to hit up the next person like that. And guess what? Then you got ghosts.
You gotta go.
Huh?
All right, we have to.
Hold on, why-
Fuck that.
hold on,
No,
hold on.
no,
Run it back
If
to
he
one
didn't
more
go to
time.
the question,
Hold on,
let's
time out.
let him
No, It's been an hour long. We've been
Run
an
it
hour
back
on
one
two
more time.
questions.
Run it back one more time.
Okay,
Just
so if you sitting there hitting up people on Happening or whatever these apps are, you more likely to get ghosts because I can easily hit up the next person like that.
So they should.
Yo,
Face to face.
talk to
So
women.
the
Nigga,
interpersonal
talk to women in person.
connection.
Talk to women in
If a guy
person.
comes
Online.
and talk to you
Yeah.
versus coming through your DMs or your.
Yeah, I'm gonna have more respect for you.
Okay.
But we agree. But we're not. The question,
From a woman.
the question is not how
How-
should guys approach.
Right,
The
it's
question is
how is-
why
why
are
didn't
guys
it?
not approaching that way?
Yo.
So
Well, we
if we
stemmed off. You know.
we know that.
we answered the root question is the it's
Argue-
technology and how we're adapting to
Argue
society.
your mentality, not the point. Right this second. Go ahead.
the point.
Argue my mentality and not the
Yeah.
point.
What's
My
your-
mentality
what is
is
your
that we should stay on
mentality?
the point.
No.
No,
I
what
think
is
what
your
you said is exactly what I wanted to say. It's evolution of the dating game, and I think
Yeah.
with that evolution, we need to motherfucking step up and talk.
What,
Yeah.
so,
Talk to the women.
With it. So
Get some balls, bro. Talk to them.
the evolution of the dating game doesn't mean that it's stemming into more relationships that's long term. Maybe more dating, but not more long term, like relationships that like last. How do we know that? We don't know that. It's too short to tell.
But
Yeah,
how
I mean,
come
you
man,
never know.
It's also not the
You
question.
asked me. All right, so hold up.
You can't track either
I'm
stats.
sorry.
Did you drink my drink?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
We
we about to
right
fight,
here,
bro.
bro.
All right.
And
Nigga, you
and hold on, hold on.
Okay.
Hey, nah, I'll let it live. But yeah,
Say what you want to say.
huh?
Don't let it live.
Can we go to the
No,
next
Huh?
round?
Don't let it live.
Because now you're definitely being a contrarian. Because you know where I'm right.
I don't know.
Let's go to the next topic. I think you nailed it.
All right.
I think we nailed it because I kind of echoed the same thing. And I think also when you finish it off, it's just a reality of
Next
Fuck
topic.
it, man.
Right.
Next topic.
Yo, bitch ass.
Yeah.
Damn, I ain't get one topic in yet. What the fuck?
You alright, bro.
Oh, my God.
Are we living in the best era for music? You know what's funny? Because I put in something like this, but
That
it
is
wasn't
my
about
topic.
music.
That's just not my handwriting.
Alright, are we living in the best era for music?
Ooh, that's
If not, which era was and why?
What genre?
Time
No, those are
time
simple.
That's my
out.
question.
Time out.
I love that question.
She's going first.
All right, so real quick.
And
Whose
No,
question?
ain't no
There's
first real quick.
No, who question is it?
there is
Denzel.
Is it a certain genre we're talking about? Because we have different.
You should
tastes.
change
the
the
era.
music culture.
The question.
Music
We're
culture,
gonna
okay.
go off in the
if
question.
you go by
So you
eras,
got
you got
first?
like the 70s, you got the 80s, you got the
Yeah.
90s, you got the 2000s, you got these. Now you got the millennial music, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So that's what you consider an era because you have Taylor Swift, you got Migos, you got Rick Ross, you have 90s, you got Biggie, Nas, you have
Right.
you got Whitney Houston. So if
OJs.
yeah, what?
OJs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What?
Oh, so is the question?
Yo, first of all,
it's not about
genre.
genre.
He expounded on my question. He doesn't even know where I'm going with it. But where is the best era of fucking music? Is it now? Is it the 80s, 90s, 70s, 2000s? Where we at? What we looking like?
So we not in the best, I'll tell you that much. This is
I bingo.
corny, like so corny. Like we not talking about nothing at all. Like we talking about drinking, partying, sex, all that. Like that's for the birds. Ain't talking about nothing real. Like as far as hip hop goes, I would give it to like Biggie, Tupac, that era. Like
90s.
yeah.
90s.
So and then like as
like
like for me, I'm like a Rat Pack fan, like 50s, all that type of stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Like this is mad chill, like that whole thing. I like that. But no, everything against now, I'm not with it.
No, so you only got but
No,
two
yeah,
minutes.
he's playing.
You already got
He's
my
playing.
point.
Well, that's real. But I actually grew up with laptops. If you guys didn't have, so whatever music you had, I could listen to. My bad. That was low.
No, that was perfect.
But,
that was
so,
good. That's
and for
fine.
that exact reason, I'll say that music culture has never been better than this second. Because at any given time, I can go back to those stuff. And we have full access to all of that. Right? So if you like a 90s throwback, 90s Pandora, music culture, enjoy that shit. You like 50s music, 50s Pandora.
Like
The
what's
question
being
is-
created.
Is the
The
music
best.
that's being created right now?
Yeah.
The best.
Is it the best music that's had
Not your
ever been
ability to
created?
Is it the best music that ever been created?
What's the best
His
era?
answer
Hold
is no, because he's listening to old stuff, obviously.
Hold on,
No,
hold
hold
on,
on.
hold on,
No,
hold
I'll answer.
on.
Hold on for what?
Oh, he's
The connection.
We'll
There
get
you
up
go.
there, big dog.
Go ahead.
Alright.
Hold on for what you
For motherfucking what?
You little bitch ass.
All right,
You
so
gonna
if
hear my
you had
answer?
to pick an era, even though your answer was also cool too, if you just what era was it?
Okay, but so it's still going to translate to a little bit. So I would say that if you guys are only looking at hip hop and like it's not real hip hop and back in my day in the early 90s, then yes, then maybe I'll give it to you.
Like
Drug
that
deal, hold on,
was
hold on. Drug dealing music versus drug using music, the whole like old head, like 30 over
that's
argument,
true.
right?
Yeah.
But you guys also have to remember there's multiple types of music. You have an artist in the jazz realm like Jacob Collier that uses aspects of ancient Indian music,
That's
like
why.
ancient
Oh, yeah,
Egyptian
you got
music.
Marcus
And-
Miller, one of the best drummers.
Absolutely. And they have all these samples and they incorporate that into their music.
Yeah.
That couldn't have been done
They
before
incorporate
because
all
there
those.
wasn't an awareness of all the cultures. Now you have we have a society where we can take music from each culture and make it our own. and put it into one song, and that wasn't possible before. So I'd say if you look into music and not just rap, because mumble rap is bullshit, but if you talk about genuine music, it's never been a better time because there's more access to things than we ever had.
Which is worse because we're not using that. We're not utilizing all that.
You guys are absolutely.
Who? Let her talk. Let her talk.
Who's it?
That's it. That's all I got.
No, but
I thought you about to drop some shit. He was like, what you mean? He was like, that's it.
She's about to drop the hammer.
but who was it using it? You said we, like, who was
Like,
it?
there's literally like one or two artists that I would even listen to, like, lyrically. Like, I
What?
mean, yeah.
That are really pulling from all the eras.
Right,
and,
not
and,
like right now. Like,
Really? Right
yeah.
now?
If
Like
I'm
an Anderson
There's
Paak
two
or
artists
something.
that's good right now.
lyrically, like I'm a different type of person.
shit.
Like,
She
yo,
better
you,
get your ass
yeah,
because
like I
she's
can't be on no
cool.
corny stuff. Like,
You listen to
stuff
You listen to Dave East?
No.
You listen to
So
lyrics?
we talking just about hip hop. That's another thing too. We
Okay,
haven't
yeah, we
really.
talking
No, we
about
talking
hip
about
Okay.
it's an era. So an era is gonna
You guys really
include
some
all
jazz.
It
genres.
encompasses
We
all
gotta talk
music.
about hip hop because I don't know a lot about.
She likes 50 music, so she
fun?
likes like, what's the dude? I did it my way.
Like
You talking about Frank Sinatra?
Be
This
My
This
Man.
motherfucker don't know Frank Sinatra's
So,
name.
but
I think I got a song on my playlist. I just couldn't think of it.
if you guys are talking hip hop culture, absolutely. As today, like Gregory Porter, if you're talking about jazz, we're going to the record books is arguably one of the best of all time.
But are you coming from? There's always an exception to the rule. Are you talking about the exceptions and stand up for the exception? Or are you talking about the majority?
But do you guys know the majority? There's a world outside of hip hop.
Yeah.
There's a real
Right, but let's
world.
talk about hip hop though.
So,
Damn, she
but then,
just framed the question.
well, but if
I'm
we're
just saying.
well, you're saying, but if we're talking strictly hip hop, I
It'd be
agree.
easier
But if
for
we're
y'all
talking
to do
about music like EDM, where they found ways to like literally interact with how your brain cells work, and they can activate your frontal lobe with a certain type of iambic pentameter, right? They use a certain iambic pentameter
This nigga
that
dead,
can literally
Danny. This nigga
activate,
Danny.
like, where you don't even have to be on drugs, but you almost have that. What's it? The D? What's that's what?
DMT shit.
They almost get that type of euphoric feeling because of the way they use certain beats and trebles.
Mm-hmm.
That has never been existed before because the science wasn't there. So if you look at the wide spectrum, there's never been a better time than today.
Well, it's always been around, especially like using like the bass line, but the knowledge of executing and utilizing it now with science behind it. Now they say, okay,
that's
hold
fair.
up.
That's fair. That's fair.
That is true.
This is how we get like a bass line. You get a bass line that just touches your soul. But now they can
They can actually measure
make
it.
this
They
happen.
can measure it.
If I could jump in really quick, what I think is that every era in the person or people that live in that era always think their era is the era to do shit. My grandfather, every time, what the fuck y'all got on there? That bullshit y'all playing. And I'm trying to explain to him
like
Kendrick and the
Sam Cooke.
lyrics
Yeah.
and the way he digs into a topic, and but he can't get over the alliteration or the cadence. I'm like, dude, if you listen, I don't understand that shit. So I think, number one, we didn't really get specific as far as the genre. Just hip hop. If you take somebody from the 80s, right, or 90s, and then compare it to this new drug user shit, they're gonna be like, bro, they ain't talking about nothing.
Right.
But
They are.
they are talking about something. They're talking about what's
Yeah.
relevant to them,
Exactly.
the type of beats, the type of flow. You might not identify with it,
So
but that's what it is.
So in cadence to what you're talking about, right? As far as because you know you have a lot of people that are like, you know, oh well, hip hop today, you know, it ain't like Biggie, Tupac, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is like you said, like on the cadence of it, like you have a lot of faster rappers and stuff like that. But if you literally listen to some of the stuff that they say, and you literally sit back and listen, and you can keep up,
Yeah.
a lot of rappers are saying more than what you probably think they are.
Well,
Like if you listen to
yeah.
Big Sean,
Even
Big Sean, every other song I listen to from Big Sean, he's talking about the blessings that he's received. He's talking about what he did in order to get there, so on and so forth. Like even people, a lot of people don't like Migos because they think they're mumble rappers. Well,
Right.
literally, I've sat there and I listened to their whole Culture 2 album,
Mm-hmm.
and there's more of a message than people actually think that there is. Even though, yeah, I smoke blunts every day and so on and so forth, but you do have these tedious small songs, or not even small songs, but you do have these messages that are portrayed throughout their song, and then there are songs dedicated to the struggle that they had to go through in order to make it that far, and they are appreciative criticism. Not everybody's going to understand exactly where you're coming from, but that's one of the things that's going to make you exactly who you want to be and who you need to be, because you're not going to give a fuck about what anybody else thinks, because this is what you actually believe. So for me, as far as like an error that I feel like really took that message and really didn't care, well, is because I know most of the music, but I would have to say like the 90s.
Okay.
And that's just for me because I could really relate with a lot of the things that they were going through, so on and so forth. It was easier for me to understand the messages that they were coming across. Now I have to admit, it's harder for me to keep up with a lot of these young rappers and so on and so forth. But for me, I think that the 90s was like, especially because I could listen to a lot of different genres. Like, I would even listen to Garth Brooks and all kinds of stuff. Like, I could go a different rate.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was easier for me to go through a different array of genres. So that's why I think that's the best era for me.
My man said Garth Brooks. Okay.
I said the same thing. Late
It
90s.
was only like 4 songs, but you know, I listened to Nickelback and all that kind of.
No.
You know,
People hate Nickelback.
Yeah, so I got a comment that like you made it come to be like such a real revelation when you said it. So people now, it's a mindset shift. Like now they're talking about, okay, I'm blessed. I got this, I got that, and they're thankful. That's cool. That's great. I'm for it. But back in the day, you knew all that, but you was trying to make an impact. You was trying to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're just like, oh, you know, I'm thankful. I got this. I got that. I got this. I got that.
Okay.
Like, but what are you trying to impact? Like, what are you bringing to the table
Chance the
that's
Rapper.
gonna change it?
Can I bring it home? Everybody spoke
See,
with
your
me.
home or
Everybody-
our home?
Everybody spoke with me.
Bring it on.
I got it. I got this whole thing.
He about to fuck it up. He about to fuck it up everybody.
Listen.
So listen.
Come on, sex.
Uh-oh, when he say listen, hey look, hey folks out
This
there.
how I get you. He be like, listen.
You know what he say?
Let's give him the platform. What you got? Bring him
Hold
up.
up. Time out. Before he starts, you're still not gonna pimp us out. I'm just letting you know.
I'm not.
Yeah.
The era that we living in now, right? 2018.
Yep.
That's the best era for music.
Okay.
And there's one reason why. Right? Every other era before this era, there's gatekeepers for everything. For literally everything you want to do in life. No matter what it is. It's like, if you want to be a musician, you got to go to the big name fucking, places. And you got to make music. Right now, you can get music from anybody and everybody you want. If you want to make music, you making music.
Yeah.
He's making music.
Yep.
I'm making music. So, all in all, it's going to be like 100 times more bullshit music.
Yeah.
But it's also going to be 100 times more like soulful, more crazy. Like, you got a Rhapsody today. You got a J. Cole who none of us have said anything about, who pretty much is like the Colin Kaepernick of music right now. He's talking deeper than almost anybody from the 90s and the 80s because we love Big, we love Pac, but he wasn't saying what J. Cole's saying. You know what
Not all
I'm
their
saying?
songs.
Right now, so like outside of music, right? We got a bracelet like this that can be made. Is this the golden era of jewelry making? I think so, because at this point, if you want to make jewelry, whatever you got in your brain, you can put it into like reality. Back in the day, everybody had what? Tiffany's or whatever, you know what I mean? Some big box store could make. But right now, anybody can do it. So whatever is in here can come to life. And like with music, that's the number one place you want that to happen.
Well, hold up. That's a great point. Let's give him a hand clap. That's a really great point. So,
My first hand clap.
is that also your preference? Do you also like?
Yo, that's my fucking.
Do you not so much the ease of entry, but like I really enjoy the music
I
right
don't know if you
now.
realize this, right? Every Friday, right? Every Friday on Spotify.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's like this, if every album is released on Fridays, but like every Friday, Spotify has like 100 new albums you can go to. I go through almost all of it, and I'm like adding to my playlist. I'm like, oh, this shit's perfect for the gym. This shit's perfect to start the podcast. This shit's perfect for me and Kristen trying to chill on some cool shit. You know what I mean?
Keep going.
And I get everything. I think 10 years ago, if you wanted to every Friday be like, I want new music, and I want this kind of music, and that kind of music, and a fat girl with pink hair that can make a song, but they wouldn't have allowed her to do that 10 years ago because she's too big. She don't look presentable enough to make the music, but now she can do it.
Goddamn,
we get the best music
Maybe more like 20 years ago. 10 years ago, we're going like
Maybe 10 years ago.
Well,
I don't know, 20 years ago.
still, the appearance is still a lot. It's still affected a lot.
So we got 90s, 2000, 90s. Today.
Today.
And I agree with all your points. I think they all
Yeah,
very valid.
everybody made a
I
good
like
point.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
with the points.
Next topic.
I bodied the topic.
And the side note.
Yeah.
Biggie and Tupac are considered untouchable because they died.
They are. They
no,
are.
you have to
untouchable.
listen to what they're talking
Yeah.
about. Like, it's some real deep
And
stuff.
see-
Like, it's poetry.
It's
yo,
good
like-
shit. It's good shit. And,
Oh, yeah,
and,
no.
and not only that,
Not
but
saying
like,
they're not excellent. I'm saying they're considered untouchable
And
because we
they
never
had a
got to
chance.
see them
True.
hit that
Go
point
to
where
rest.
music evolved.
but
Big
also,
L too.
but
I don't
also
know
like
about
yeah, Big
though.
L,
I don't know
Big
about
Pun.
I love Big L, but how I compared
You know,
I compared Tupac to J. Cole,
Mhm.
but Tupac touched multiple genres. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he's making movies, he killed it in juice. J. Cole hasn't done it yet, so he's like Tupac brought us to a point where like Ice
Oh,
Cube
God.
can now make a movie and like things like that. So
Yeah.
we can't really, I can't really. I apologize for comparing J. Cole to Tupac. I'm talking about in terms of lyrics. I'm talking about in terms of lyrics, but in terms of like the embodiment of the work, that's a whole different discussion.
Right.
Question.
Question. All right. How much time are we in right now?
We good. We good.
Like
Give us
an
another question. We'll get two more out.
We can get two more out?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Sure.
This one question.
We just dug deep
All right,
into
so-
it. You did good.
This one is a random one. When is it okay to go to another barber in the same shop?
Oh, all right. So this is maybe a black culture thing.
Or does, like,
Maybe.
yeah,
No, I mean it could be the same thing.
It might be
Go to the
hairstylists. I don't know if it's the
hairstylist.
same rules with hair. Is there a rule with hairstylists? Like if you have the person you been with for a year, can you not go to the next little salon, or was it like not a big deal?
That's not a big deal. I mean, to me, but I think it's a culture thing. Like, because, you know, I don't go and.
I know some women.
I think that's a
but
culture
they-
thing.
Okay. Culture,
like-
and also irrespective of sexuality. Like it's not a
Yeah.
sex thing. Women don't give a shit about that either, right? Like,
No, but like if I go to somebody, like, well, my thing is whoever I go to, that's who I go to because
Okay.
I know she about to hook me up, and I'm not going to. I'm not just like going to anybody.
okay.
Oh, what's the top?
All right, we gotta go to Mr. Haircuts. Y'all two gotta be the next two to jump in. So, how do y'all feel when you got your? You know how I go. You go to your barber and your barber ain't got a chair open, whatever. You go to the next barber. What's the deal with that? And like,
The only time I go to a
Is
different
it
barber, like I've been going to my barber for 7 years now, but the only time I go to a different barber is if he's like sick, or like he's not in town, or like we just have a conflict in the schedule. But I'm not.
is it
That's
cheating?
the only time. That's the only time I'm gonna use the same barber in the same shop. Now, if I really wanted to go somewhere else, like to get like a design on my head or something like that, I'm not doing it in the same shop. I'm not gonna disrespect my barber like that. Just because I feel like it is a bit of a loyalty thing because he's, you know what I mean, my barber tight, you feel me? he get me right. So that's just what I do. But
Are you more faithful to your barber?
And then sometimes it's just being inconsistent. And so he doesn't respect my time. Like as a young professional, like I got moves to make. So like even yesterday. I scheduled a time. I said, you got any time I can come in, before 9, right? Because I just want somebody to be at 10, right? And so he said, oh, I can do at 9, exactly at 9. I said, all right, cool. I just got to be out by like 9, 9:30, 9:40, right? Like no rush, but can you do that, right? He said, yeah. I show up at 8:55. Yo, he just started someone else's cut.
Hate that shit.
Yeah, I
professional.
understand why I see
That's
that so
unprofessional.
many times.
And so it's several times. Like they're up in like before I had my own business and I had my own shit that I was doing, right? I'd go in there and I had to wait an hour and a half after my appointment time.
right.
And so, and in the same shop, one of my trusted friends gets fire cuts, has dope ass conversation like about cryptocurrency and like the world at large,
Yeah.
and it's literally right next to them, and the cuts are fire. And I'm like, at what point is it okay for me to be like, dog, I gotta go to them? You know what I mean? Because my time is valuable.
So you switched from another barber to another barber in the same shop?
I haven't. That's why the question is posed.
Oh, I thought you.
So when is it okay? And I guess it's
Oh,
when
you
disrespect
want to.
your time.
He
Absolutely,
wants
yeah.
to.
When they disrespect the dollar, because you can take that any fucking way. If I tell you I need to be here at a certain
or
time,
something like that. Yeah.
respect my time and my money,
Yeah.
right?
I say
Okay.
go for it because you gotta show them, hey, I can go somewhere else.
Exactly. Like you will lose business.
I will
that
go
way.
next chair.
She said go right now, and then let the barber go in the back.
Right, like go give him a dap, like yo, thanks, bro.
Well,
And
right.
then take the next
Fuck 'em
barber.
up.
Yeah.
I just want you to know I got options.
Yo, this is what y'all not think about, yo. These two barbers, they probably close to each other.
Yeah,
He
they
gonna
are.
go in the back. He gonna tell me, go ahead, you can cut him, fuck him up a little bit, nick him on the neck a little bit. You know what I mean? Fuck him up.
I think it's like, man, if we make an appointment, if we make a certain
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
let's stick to it.
Yeah.
If that's not the case, then I move on. Also, sometimes if it's like I'm getting married or I have, let's say it's engagement for one of my good friends or family, and I had to get something done, and my barber doesn't have an available slot, then I think we both should understand that I'm going to go to someone else.
Yeah, see, but this is the hard
That's
part.
the only. Now I'm not going to just.
The hard part is to find somebody that gives you the cut that you really want.
Well,
Because
social
I
media,
literally
they-
had-
even that.
Hey, look, let me tell you,
Yo,
real
not
quick.
even that cold, dog.
Real quick, let me tell
Not
you.
even that cold.
Let me tell you.
I didn't-
My barber was sick. Actually, literally, he was sick like a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't, get my hair cut. But I'm like, I need to get something done.
Yeah.
So I had to go to the dude who was in the same barber shop because I wasn't going nowhere else. So I'm like, all right, the other two barbers that I know and I would trust with my head, I was like, y'all got any spots open? He was like, nah. So I had to go to the one new dude. He was okay. I
we
seen
went
him do
to
a
the
couple.
new dude.
Man, I went.
He hooked you both
man,
up. Oh,
and
shit.
I was like, I was all disappointed when I looked
You was
at
looking
him.
at
I was
yourself
like,
like, who am
I
I?
was like, you know what? I ain't even gonna be mad. I gave him the money and I rolled out, and then now I came back and I'm back like I've never
Also,
left.
one time I had to. My barber wasn't there. This is when I was in West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
And it's slim picking up
Oh,
there.
What were you
that
doing?
sounds
That's why I started laughing.
We didn't even haircut in West
He
Virginia.
said West Virginia.
I was
oh, they
I
got
was- I was-
barbershops out there.
I was in-
take
I was
care
in
of you.
college.
It was so long.
Yeah, no,
My
completely.
goddamn
So it was a salon
Really great cuts.
in a barbershop, right? All the barbers were taken, and I had to. So my barber wasn't there. All the barbers were taken, and we had team photos, right? So the
Sounds terrible.
one of the hairstylists, a female hairstylist, not saying that female can't cut, but she was a hairstylist,
She hooked you up.
and she said, I got you.
She gave you a girl.
So
shit.
my mind, literally in my mind, like my first thought was like, I'm about to walk out here looking like Ellen DeGeneres. And so I'm sitting there. I'm like if I feel die, I'm swinging. And was the coldest cut I ever got in
It was
North.
dope.
Really?
Was the
Get the fuck outta
coldest
here, yo.
cut I ever got.
Every now and then it works. That gamble, I guess.
Yeah.
Works.
Gamble sometimes.
That's rare.
You know how normally like
I
normally
wouldn't
when you get,
recommend.
you know normally like when they spin you by the mirror, you be looking okay, cool. I was like this, like single, like a tear going down my face.
Oh.
I don't gotta look. I don't
It
gotta
was
look.
beautiful. It was so beautiful. She was like,
He gave him
how it
a
look?
shuffle.
She said, how it look? I was like this. I was like. So what you doing after this? Yeah, it was fire, bro.
Yo, last topic?
Sure.
That's not-
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Rapid fire. Cardi B or Nicki Minaj?
Go.
Cardi B.
Woo.
Why?
Okay.
No, wait. Nope.
No,
Oh, right.
Give her a minute. Give her a minute. Give her 1 minute.
1 minute.
Cardi B, number one, as an individual, she's mad humble. She's mad intelligent when it comes to business, even though you may not pick up on that. Nicki Minaj, she's a recyclable rapper. When she first came out, I would have picked her off break. Like, she was hitting it, she was raw, I was in there. New Nicki Minaj, no. Old Nicki Minaj would win over Cardi B.
Cardi B.
Gotcha.
Cardi B.
Nicki Minaj.
Why? Why?
Because if we're talking about them as individual businesses, right? Any business can be hot for a year.
True.
We're talking about 10 years.
Substantial.
10 years is the golden standard of a business. She's been relevant for over 10 years.
Bingo. Nick,
What's the question again?
Nicki Minaj.
these
or Cardi
nuts,
B?
motherfucker.
I think
Cardi
you
B or
need to
Nicki
be
Minaj?
shaved. Go ahead. The question again.
Cardi B or Nicki Minaj?
Cardi B. Why? I think she's more personable. I like her. I like her attitude. She feel like she comes from humble
Correct.
beginnings. I feel like Nicki maybe. I don't ever really remember hearing her talk about it.
Was Nicki born in a Bentley?
Yeah, tripping.
I don't know. I don't know too much of her catalog, but I feel like I can relate better to Cardi. I think her flow's pretty good. I think her wordplay is pretty good. I think the topic she covers is pretty good. She's a little touch of ratchet. I like Cardi.
Okay.
There's a song called.
what's
And I
it
can
called?
fight with her. I'm real big
that's-
on fighting.
That's what
I don't
it's
think
called.
Nicki can fight.
It's called recency bias.
This, yeah.
Because it's what's happening.
Well, it's an
now.
implicit bias, but that's what
It's
it's
recency
my
bias.
bias.
Because she's happening today.
There's a song called Monster that Nicki Minaj bodied the fuck out of, yo. And Cardi B hasn't done anything even remotely.
That's
Well,
what
she's
I
also
said.
new though. Give her time. Give her
Yeah.
time. Nicki first bars was trash.
I'm
Her
sorry.
first shit was
Nicki Minaj verse on
Yeah,
Motorsport.
But Nicki had to get to that point. Nicki wasn't dropping Monster her first year.
Corny.
Oh,
you like it?
Corny.
On Motorsport?
She's mad
Who's
corny.
corny?
Plus,
Nicki
Nicki
Minaj?
is so corny.
So you did hear the Monster verse.
Yeah,
you
but listen,
still
that's
saying
why I
it.
said Nicki is two different people. Old Nicki and new Nicki.
That was
Two
Safari.
different
That
people.
wasn't even Nicki.
That's the last.
She wrote that.
On this one.
Hold on, wait.
Next.
You said
It's rapid fire. Oh, did you go?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Either one of you motherfuckers win.
But I did go. I did go.
What you put in here?
The verse on Monster.
I thought you
Oh,
said
this-
I didn't say
okay.
Cardi.
Nah.
No, he said Nicki
I
Minaj.
thought you said Cardi.
Me? No, I say Nicki Minaj.
Oh, really?
Because I fucked with her reputation and her lyricism as time has always gone on.
What is her
She always-
reputation?
There's a
People
verse-
writing for her, yo?
There's a verse called
Come on, I
Monster.
said Safari, they ain't catch up on it. Look, give me double check.
Bruh.
Safari.
Hey, hold,
Yeah.
time out.
He's reading a lot of her
Time
shit.
out. Is
A
Offset
lot of
not
it.
one of the hottest right now? And isn't Cardi B dating them?
No, Offset is not one of the hottest right now.
Oh,
Offset's not one of the hottest.
No.
His Ric Flair.
Are you living? Are you living in 2010?
Okay, are we
Hold
talking
on.
about hottest like socially or hottest
See,
like lyrically?
At what point did
Yo,
what are we
rappers? At
talking
what
about?
point did rappers only get qualified by if they wrote everything by themselves? Or is
Right.
Easy E not a Hall of
You got
Famer?
a point.
Easy is the shit.
He's not a lyricist.
He's not
He
a
never
lyricist.
wrote
He's
a
not a
lyricist.
I'm a
Is Easy
lyricist
E
type
not a Hall of
person.
If you don't write your own lyrics, coming from a lyricist, you're not a lyricist. Now,
Is
you could
Easy
be a
E a Hall
mega
of
star,
Famer?
you could be a star.
Right.
Well, yeah, he's Hall of
Right.
Fame in the range that, okay, we all understand, we made an agreement, and he didn't write his lyrics, but maybe he could execute them on stage.
Hey guys, this
He was
isn't
that person.
qualified. This isn't qualified time
You
for
know-
rapid fire. No, we should get
Rapid fire.
I didn't know.
Yo, this is rapid fire.
Yeah, you're right.
Rapid fire.
I still agree with Nicki Minaj.
Rapid fire.
I don't think it's right on answer.
Rapid fire.
Miguel or Bruno Mars?
Oh.
Bruno.
Oh shit. Hold on, wait.
rapid fire.
That's a good
Rapid
one.
fire.
That
Come on
is
now.
a good
Rapid
one.
fire.
You ain't being
I'm
rapid.
gonna go with Bruno.
Okay.
Fuck out of here.
I just said it.
Bruno, I'm going Bruno.
Bruno.
His energy, my guy, he can dance and
Yeah.
shit.
Fuck out of here.
Talk about
He's
Miguel.
multifaceted.
Miguel's the smoothest.
You said rapid fire. I gave you my rapid fire. Look.
I go with Bruno Mars too.
Yeah, Bruno.
I wrote this question. I thought everybody was gonna be Miguel, yo.
No.
Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Bruno.
Listen,
Safari or the game?
he's just mad because we didn't let our
Safari of the game.
The game. The game. all
Safari
day.
the game based on thirst
Safari
traps.
versus
Based on thirst traps.
Hold,
What do you
hold.
mean by
Wait,
that?
did you pull Safari back into the fucking question
We don't
again?
answer this. Yes, I did.
Dog.
Okay,
What
what do
is
you
wrong
mean
with
by
you, son?
thirst traps when you're asking me that?
Safari
Alright,
does
dick.
thirst traps with the dick pics. The game
Okay,
did some
I may
dick
have
pic
seen
thirst
a
traps.
few. Huh?
The game did the thirst trap dick pics.
Did you see a few too?
hold
She
on.
said, no, but she
Oh,
said,
off of
I may
that?
have seen a few.
Off
Hold
of
on,
that,
guys.
Yeah, off thirst traps.
Sorry,
I'm
this
gonna
is
go with
weird.
I'm gonna go with the game
We're not
because
answering this.
listen,
Hold on, look.
I'm gonna tell you I don't want no parts of Safari. That's what I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna go with the game.
Yes!
I don't want no part of that nigga.
Hold on, I have a real question. I know you guys are interested. How many times did you look at their dick pics, dog?
Too many, bro. Too many.
Hey, Danny.
He just looks like, he's like, all right, hold on, let me see.
I'm
We
not
about
gay.
the same.
I'm not
Yeah.
on the gay shit, but competition, you know what I'm saying?
Ain't nobody trying to fuck Chris. He's not trying to come fuck your girl. Bro, beat his
But
ass and
look,
come
look,
over
it's
here.
a good question though, right? She
No.
said Safari
And it's
over
weird
the
that you
game.
have it as a
No, I
Safari.
didn't. I said the game. I
She
said
said
I
the
don't want
game.
no parts of Safari.
She
Yo.
said she
I don't need to be
Why don't
in
you-
ICU. Like what you talking about?
So, all right.
Hold on. Denzel's got
You see how
Denzel's got-
I
already know.
Hey,
Show up,
hey,
man.
guys, be quiet. Denzel's about to argue for his dick. Go ahead.
My dick?
So you gonna argue
My
for-
dick doesn't fall into this
Nah,
category.
Safari or the game.
No, I mean you're about to argue for Safari.
All right, I'm gonna get a little weird.
Weren't you?
Is it the girth of Safari or the length? I haven't seen that.
Stop.
Since we
Stop.
gone
Stop.
All right. Well,
You said stop. How the fuck you gonna bring it up and be like, hello?
Stop.
All right, let's
Yo,
go.
It's in the fucking. It's rapid fire.
Rapid
So
fire.
listen, this is not safe.
It actually is.
Look,
It actually.
If that's the
Stop
final
touching my
question.
question. Yeah, it's actually the next
said
rapid fire.
ICU.
Length of the girth.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
The
Is
length.
that seriously?
You like length?
No. That's why I wouldn't pick Safari because
So
of the
no,
length.
you would
but
prefer
you're saying
girth
girth.
than length.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm
But
hearing.
I don't know. Like, okay, can I just elaborate?
Yes. Our first female guest. We need to hear you elaborate.
Like, okay, so with Safari, for me, because I know a lot of females that would say Safari off break, they my close friends. I'm not with that because I'm like, yo, like, I'm like with pleasure over pain. I ain't trying to be in pain because that didn't bring me no pleasure. So, that just wraps that up.
Bingo.
Fucking that.
All right, so. Oh my god.
Safari of the game.
I have
Left
not seen
or
any.
girth?
She's not even in camera.
So
Let's
she-
go, girl. What kind of dick you like? Tell me about dick.
So officially.
Oh, you're married. Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Yo,
Yo, so watch this. What you say,
Hold
girl?
on. So officially, she's seen less celebrity dick pics than Denzel.
Yes. Look at our hashtag say, all right, Safari game. Oh, these motherfuckers going at it. That's me. All right, so it's
Hold
good.
on. Did she answer? Did she even answer?
She's married, my
Did she
She's
say
not even on the
But
show.
did
I
she say
haven't seen any.
length or girth? That's the question.
You ain't showing none of the group text.
Nah,
I know how you girls group text.
Oh,
Girls.
And look, when they leave though, she be like, what do it look like? She be like, hell no.
you don't want it. You don't want it.
Hey,
All
hubby,
right,
we ain't
so-
gonna show it.
Ooh, this is good.
whatever
This is
the
a
fuck.
good one. This is a good one. This is a real good one. So, good sex and bad conversation, or great communication and bad sex.
Oh,
Damn!
that's easy.
No, that's not easy.
Great,
Because,
great
that's
communication
terrible.
and bad sex.
Okay, but
No. Last thought.
here's the problem though. Is this somebody that is just like, are we just talking about a one-time situation?
Exactly, I was gonna say that.
Nah.
Or is this like I'm dating this person?
Generally speaking.
You dating this person. You trying to see if you can go the long distance with them, and they either got good sex and bad communication.
They baby
or
stroking,
great
but they-
communication.
Nah, if you got
I'm-
bad, I can't commit to that because I'm gonna cheat on you. I can't. I don't want to set
I
myself
respect
up like
it.
that.
I respect
This is
that.
honest. We asking for honest opinion. What y'all think?
Boom. Dang.
Baby strokes?
It's easy.
Good sex, bad conversation,
Why
bad
would I be?
communication. or great
I
communication.
control.
You clearly are a really good conversationalist.
You
You are
laid a
clearly a
pipeline.
good conversationalist.
Well, he's talking perspective of a woman now. So
But are
she
you
gets
also
good
giving
sex.
baby strokes to go with the conversation that you?
No, it's not for
But this
him. It's for
would
the
be like if
girl.
I'm saying with dude, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
We talking about the girl.
This
The
is
girl
a
terrible
girl.
baby.
All right, listen. Okay, I'm gonna bring you around so it's relevant to me.
Right?
The woman that I prefer in a relationship. Jesus.
They gotta have both.
Listen, we're not doing any opinion. So if we have a girl with like amazing conversation and like as a sex she just there as a board, I'll take that over the chick that
Ugh.
is just a wild as sick. Know why? Because I value in those more often than not. Unless you just like literally is just filled with cum, you're gonna be
Did you just say that?
filled with cum. You're gonna
Like, yo, what's the bottom line?
you'll spend more time like interacting with this person on like a conversational level than you will having sex, right? And I'll put it this way:
I don't like either one.
have you guys seen? Hold on, I'll put it this way: have you guys seen Karate Kid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which one?
Good. The first one, the original.
Oh,
That's
okay.
about sex?
Can I finish? Listen,
Who has
it would be
that?
great if I could finish. So, was Daniel's son a master of karate when he got to Mr. Miyagi?
No.
No, I can teach her to fuck.
You can
You
teach.
can't teach him to talk.
No, don't say too hard.
No.
You can't teach them all to fuck.
You can't.
That's how we go some of these
Okay, let me
motherfuckers.
make a comment though.
But you-
Because
I can teach her to fuck. I like her.
Alright,
the
alright.
thing about it is
1,
though,
2, bam.
you have to have like that connection with somebody to have good sex. If you don't have the connection, you can't teach connection. You can't teach that.
I do have that connection because of great conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but during sex-
I'll that's a direct correlation.
During the sex,
Conversation
bro. During the sex, bro.
and sex. are
When you
two
get
different
when you
things.
going deep, you know what I'm saying?
Danny be
And you
talking to
feeling
her.
for the and you feeling for
You
the
better take this
what
slow,
they you know what I
Jose.
mean? What
You're
she
supposed
like,
to
what she
wiggle
don't
your
like.
hips a little.
You know what I'm saying? She not saying to you, hey Danny, I really like this. You know, I'm telling you this, I'm telling you that. You gotta have that connection, bro.
But you know what the great thing about a relationship is? After that, you can ask. And you have conversation, you have communication skills. This implies that this woman can actually fucking speak for herself. So if I ask, what do you like? And outside of that realm, then we can figure that out.
If she says,
Over
I like
time,
this,
So you
sit
gonna
there.
talk her to death with sex
What
talk?
if she do?
But that would-
This is rappers too.
But that would-
fire.
But that would
This is rapid fire.
So-
Go there.
Hold on.
Dick.
If it's your
No.
girl, if you
It's rapid fire.
He said,
It's
but realize, he
Girls about
said,
sex?
better sex talk than actual sex.
That's cool. But if your conversationalist, that intrigues him
Hold on.
more
Yeah,
than
that's true.
the
Hold on.
conversation of a
That's
For the
That's for
record,
him. That's cool.
he just lied about something I said to me. I didn't say better sex talk than better actual sex. I'm saying we can have great conversation and figure that part out. You can't teach a chick that only knows how to fuck how to have a good conversation. So how do you feel about this?
I'm
Like I
trying.
can't do that shit. I can't
I'm
do
with
that
that
You know
shit.
what?
I'm
That
with
would be
that
that's gonna we're gonna say that for another time.
Yeah.
Just because
Yo.
I got something in response to that, but I'm
No,
not gonna say it right now.
you get to bring this home. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring everything home.
Good
Yo.
sex with anybody.
So
rapid
I can't
fire.
talk to her. I keep
I Marvin, bring it home.
Hold on.
Oh, you did go.
I don't
You did
need a
go.
rapid
no,
fire.
hold on, no, you didn't go.
So
yet.
Everybody
I-
needs
I went-
to
I went-
question.
Shut up.
So aggressive.
So, good sex and bad communication, or great communication and bad sex.
Good sex. The reason why is I really appreciate good sex. I feel, on the opposite spectrum, that I could teach you how to be a better conversationalist or like some of the stuff I like. And I got a perfect example. My wife. Great sex. I mean, she could suck a dick. But when we first met,
Hey, Mo, we love you, though, baby.
listen, when we first met, I'm a fighter, so I love MMA, boxing.
You
anything.
MMA with Mo in the bed? You saying?
Listen, that's not for you to know, sir. Alright,
You
your
beat the
problem.
pussy
But
up.
listen. In the beginning, we didn't have those same interests. We didn't have, like I'm taking the Buffalo Wild Wings to watch the fights and she'd be like, over time, we were able to build a connection as far as being able to conversate. She knows all the moves, all the players. So through the good sex,
She knows
for me, that's for me. This is
She
nothing
knows
perspective.
all the moves of fighting or sex.
Fighting, sex too. She already knew that though, because she had good sex. Follow. So that's for me though. Listen, that's what I'm saying. There's no right or wrong answer. To someone who maybe appreciates a good conversation, that might ignite their spirit.
Yeah.
That some good head might not be enough, and that might be what this. So it's not about persecuting. Like you like conversation, you whack. For me, I like a good 69 with a shaved ass.
Yeah, I
A
appreciate.
shade
Oh my
ass?
shave
Hey,
wait,
and then we'll talk about
You know what
sex.
it
And you
says?
see this, right? That's his.
The-
That's his personal
That's
thing.
his-
That's
that's
how he
his-
is.
that's
I will
my
say,
brain.
I do
Actually,
appreciate a
that's my
conversation
sister,
with a
that's
woman
mine.
It's
sitting
mine.
across the table.
You should have been on
where I can
time.
use more than 70% of my vocabulary. I appreciate that. If I can use more than 70% of my
I do too.
vocabulary with a girl, she got me.
I
Right now-
really enjoy Netflix and chills and get my mom.
If I like even a
That
word
really
like
touches me.
Not-
like I took a chick to what's a place called
Johnny
Moscow,
Rockets.
and I had to explain. I had to expound on what expound means.
Oh, leave her and ghost her.
No, he's saying she knows what it means.
No, I had to
No,
Yeah,
you're
I
wrong.
had to
You have to
explain
explain it.
Expound means explain. Like
I promise you, he didn't understand the word.
I thought he was saying like she had her meaning, he had
Oh,
his
okay,
meaning.
yeah,
They resurrected like a new meaning.
You're wrong, but it's
Alright,
all
what's your answer?
I have no answer.
That's
What are you
really
talking
crazy.
God, what would you like?
Come on,
Conversation,
yo.
sex,
You guys know me, yo.
sex.
I went to
Yeah.
the sex, yo. I went to the motherfucking sex, yo.
Sex.
And- and-
Celebrity dick pics.
What?
No,
You don't do that though.
no, damn it! Don't please put me on that.
I just screenshot that
So,
shit. Like,
I gotta rub the egg again.
At the end of the
Marvin,
day-
you say yours, Marvin? I'm sorry.
No! You
You
gave
said
me
sex.
the fucking platform.
All right, go ahead, Denzel.
Good sex, good communication, bad sex, bad communication, both can be worked on. He works on communication. He works on sex. I work on fucking everything. You know what I'm saying?
He's Switzerland. He's Switzerland. Hey, I just love everybody.
Okay,
You know that.
would you rather have an airplane or a yacht? I prefer a flying boat.
A flying boat.
Right.
Motherfucker, pick one. You want your dick
Yeah.
sucked or you want your mind
No, but
stimulated?
no.
Which one?
All jokes aside, though,
Which is-
y'all say everything I could possibly say, but I know Marvin in the holster got some dope shit.
Marvin,
I
you break the
understand.
tie. Marvin, you gotta break the tie.
Bring it home.
Sex or mine?
I really don't.
Did you
Bring
answer
it
the
home.
question?
Hold on, yo. Bring it
Did
home.
you
yo.
answer the
Did you
question?
explain my egg?
Huh?
Did you answer the
No,
question?
no.
No.
What's your answer?
Okay.
That was that.
That's a good question.
That's my goddamn good baby.
Good sex, bad communication.
You know what the fuck you
Great
want.
communication.
What were we talking about in the gym?
Nigga, good sex.
Bust it open! Bust it open!
Yeah, just because, I mean, for me personally,
Shut up.
good sex,
Shut
bad
up.
communication, like you said,
Shut
communication
Straight
can straight up. Communication can be developed, just based on the fact that if you already have common interest or whatever the case may be, or if, for instance, if you gain knowledge and you present that to somebody else, that's ultimately a conversation for you guys to both have, and they can gain that knowledge from what you have, or you can gain knowledge from them. Sometimes it may not even be based off of the fact that it's a common thing between you two. It may be something that somebody else is, may be interested in, and then they bring it to your attention, and the whole time you might find a little bit of interest towards it, just based off of, you might have a different perspective, and that creates a communication that also creates an environment for you guys to grow off of.
This is
This is after we got 69. This is after the 69. We got 69 first. And then I wipe my face all over
He
talking.
just
Exactly.
created a fucking Christopher Nolan movie on
with it.
fucking sex.
But I'm just saying, though.
Time of the guest, her name, her handle,
Go ahead,
what
go
you
for it,
doing.
shorty, kill us.
Jump it in, right there.
Wrap it up.
So, Creative Blessings. Check out the website, Creative Blessings, CB accessories.
Send all the dick
All
pics.
that.
Sorry.
No!
Dick pics!
She is single, so send Creative Blessings CB. Dick pics. She likes dick
No, I
pics.
think she'll take
No.
money.
No, only
I think
girth
she'll take money from her.
pics. Yeah, no late pics.
Nah, I will
I got
block
you.
you off break. Don't send it. Don't send it.
Yo, double wide pics, no length pics.
Nah,
please.
you
She
getting
will not
blocked. You
accept it.
getting blocked
You said
early.
at least 4 inches.
That's a lot of dick. All right, thank you, episode
Hey,
8.
where we at?
That's
Where we
it.
at? Where we 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 at?
Woohoo! Thank you so much for coming in.
Yes.
So, okay, question. Was I able to hang? No.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck money.
We had fun. We
You
had
hung for
fun.
real.
We had
I had
Not only did you hung, but you stole his
Yeah,
fucking chair.
That's
Listen,
what
yeah,
I'm
that
saying.
real gangster shit though. Right there. That should maybe be the guest.
Holy shit.
Hey, look, but I'm willing to also give up my seat sometime too,
It's
Mo.
what?
You said what?
We